You recording? Are you?
Now I am.
Okay.
And I'm recording you too, so I don't get any funny ideas.
All right.
You're being recorded.
Is that, yeah, I won't be able to.
Can't wait. I can't wait to hear.
There's so many crimes that I won't be able to commit now that I'm being recorded.
This is why people need to go to the Patreon, sign up, contentburger.biz. It's a public good. It's to keep Kyle from committing crimes.
I mean, that becomes more and more true almost every day, really.
The less money is on that Patreon, the more crimes that we're going to commit.
Yeah, and I know what you're probably asking. Donate monthly to the Run Button Patreon. What do I get in exchange for that?
Nothing! You don't get anything, you idiot! Nothing. You don't get anything.
Our journal, I'm so grateful to all the people that have given us so much money for materially nothing in exchange.
We would like to be doing more. But one of us works for apparently the most difficult employer in the world to go to work and then still have energy left over to do a podcast.
Yeah, it's tough over here, fam.
It's me, I'm the fam.
It's yeah. You're the fam, cuz.
Yeah. I'm sick. I'm gonna say get it out of the way. If you haven't been able to tell, I sound sick because I am sick. I think that I had COVID last week.
If this is anything, this is a cold open, and you don't.
Yes, and by cold you mean rhinovirus.
Keith, all right. So you agreed to do a podcast this morning.
Yeah.
You let me wait all day.
You wait all day?
You let me wait all day. You played Grounded with me and my daughter for 2 whole hours,
almost,
or close to that amount. And you let me get set up for the podcast, wait for you to eat the cereal bowl, start recording. Get past the cold open, and now you're dropping on me that you're fucking sick and you sound like shit.
You heard me on mic.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah, I sound fine. It's not so bad.
That's the thing. I mean, I was talking to you for 2 hours just now. I didn't even notice you sounded weird.
Podcast listeners are very sensitive. You have to say things like, I know I sound sick, or they'll get weird about it.
No, you sound normal. But also, if we haven't done a podcast in like a year, what if they're just like, maybe Keith is different now?
I think it's been 7 months. Give me a year. Talk about 7 months. 7 months.
Give me a whole year.
Give me a whole year. The fuck up.
Oh, man. Speaking of a whole year, it's been a whole 2 years since we did a Game of the Year podcast.
It has been over 2 years, I think, because the last
sad
time we did one, it was on time.
That doesn't sound true.
I'm pretty sure that the last time we did one, it was like the most on time we've ever been.
That sounds fake, but I am genuine. If you had asked the last time we recorded a Game of the Year podcast, like right afterwards, if you had asked me, hey, when do you think you'll go a year without doing a Game of the Year podcast? I'd be like, not while I'm breathing. Never. And then, whoops is right. But we're gonna double up. We're gonna do a games of the 2 years podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna do a games of the 2 years. Game of the
my
year. No, we
fucking-
did last year. We did Game of the Year. Looks like in early February.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You were just like early February. That's practically on time for us. You're just grading on a
Maybe
bell
it was
curve.
the year before. I distinctly remember in recent memory we did one in like December, and it was like, oh my god, who are we, professionals?
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, it probably sounds like it happened one time.
December 25th, Game of
Are
the Year
you
2020. Yeah, I was right. It was the year before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course it was 2020. No fuck. Oh, the year none of us had anything going on. What
Fair.
a fucking shocker.
Yeah, fair, yeah. Actually, I also remember weirdly that year, anyone whose Game of the Year lists I cared about were later than ours. Usually a
Wow.
lot of the Game of the Year stuff happens like mid-December, and we were like mid to end December, and then
We should triple up, actually. We should do a Games of the 3 Years podcast. We should just do 2024 like right now.
we should
and then
call
we're
it
ahead
now.
of everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Palworld Game of the Year.
Game of the Year, yeah.
I mean, we already know in terms of sales, that's what it's going to be.
It may indeed be. Hey, do you want my list here? Do you want my my untitled spreadsheet of notes here?
Oh, okay. Not like a Game of the Year list or something.
No.
We were talking about Game of the Year. You said list. I was just like, no, I don't want your list.
Well,
It's
you
not
reminded
the
me of
time.
the Palworld thing because I decided to look up just for fun. I decided to look up the Steam and Twitch charts, see what's going on over there.
Yeah, were they popping off? It
They're
says I have to
popping off.
request
It's
access.
it's kind of
Like,
funny.
I had no doubt that Palworld would be like a fair hit. I did not expect 7 million copies in the first week with zero marketing dollars. Or I mean, I think that they haven't spent anything on marketing, but I guess I don't know.
I have been aware of this game for I think almost 2 years. So
Yeah.
whatever was happening, here's
Same.
what it is. They very smartly relied on the inherent virality of a game
Yeah.
that looks like kind of a Pokemon game, and then all of a sudden the Pokemon start whipping out guns.
Yeah,
That's our
and
trailer, and we don't have to spend anything, and people just share it around.
yeah, actually, more than anything, the original announcement
Should we
trailer.
reset?
Oh, whoops. Oh, it's way too late now.
Should we jump into here's how well Kyle and I know each other
Okay.
from doing a podcast for years and years and years and years and being cousins. We have never talked about Palworld, and we started a podcast by jumping halfway into someone else's discussion about Palworld. Like if anyone else started, most people would be like, hey, have you heard about Palworld? Or let's talk about Palworld. No, we're already like 3 minutes into the
We
basic.
know what needs to be said
We
about
know what needs to be said
Palworld.
about Palworld. But okay, hi, welcome to the Runbutton podcast. My name is Keith J. Carberry. This is Kyle Churchill.
I'm Kyle Churchill.
We do a podcast about video games. It's February. It's early February 2024, which means that the big game to talk about is Palworld. Palworld is an open world survival game like
I think Vinny Caravella said it best. It's literally just Ark.
Yeah,
But what if
it's
there
Ark.
was Pokemon in it?
I've heard that a lot. I've heard the Ark comparison. I haven't played Ark, but that was the game I was reaching for. Was Ark.
Because Ark was the game. If anyone doesn't know Ark,
It's like Power with dinosaurs.
Survival Evolved. The pitch of Ark was basically like, what if Minecraft, but it looks totally realistic and we take it really seriously and make it like a super hardcore survival sim. Also, there's dinosaurs and eventually you can ride them, and also there's machine guns eventually.
Now, hey, what if we took Minecraft really seriously? That's not unique to Ark. A billion games now have done that, and actually, Steam is littered with mega popular versions of the same idea. And
one of them, Ark was one of the most popular.
Well, to me, when I think about it, I think of games like Rust and the Forest?
Oh, sure, but I think maybe I feel like we missed the Ark. Like Ark was one of those things where it was like the biggest game in the world when we weren't paying attention.
Maybe
Because they sold like
when wasn't I paying attention?
Bazillions. But Ark became infamous because it sold millions and millions of copies in early access when the game was like functionally broken. And, you know, it became one of those things where people became very upset with the pace at which they were repairing the game. And they even went so far as to release a paid expansion before the base game was like functional. Like,
wow.
You know, people were like, there are still major issues with the base game. It's not even close to 1.0 and you're putting out an expansion?
Let me just see here on Steam. Yeah, so I agree that Ark was big, but because it was one of the earlier ones of these, I think it's like the scale of these games has really blown up. Like, for instance, Rust, which came out a year later, has 300,000 more Steam reviews than Ark.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So these games are just
huge.
So huge. The Forest has about the same, as like 50,000 less reviews than Ark. These games are huge. I don't really get it. I
mean, we were just playing Grounded before we recorded this.
Grounded is one that I like. Valheim is one that I like.
I think Grounded does a good job of setting itself apart.
It has a premise. It is like a real premise.
Yeah, if on nothing else, in the fact that it has a story, it has a premise, and because they give up the forever treadmill of infinite content of procedurally generated world for like the intricate bespoke world that really pays off in its favor, I think.
To me,
for the story,
the thing that's interesting, like, Grounded is the Obsidian version of what if Minecraft but realistic, but also Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
So you're running around in a forest, but also the forest is actually like the front lawn of a mad scientist, and you're surviving against the elements, which are like little bugs that are like ants and stink bugs are like your biggest enemies.
Yeah, and sorry, if for anyone under the age of 30, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was a movie about a scientist who makes a shrink ray and then accidentally shrinks 4 kids, and then the 4 kids are very tiny and they have to play Grounded in order to get Rick Moranis to re-embiggen them.
Sorry, and a movie is like, okay, so if you've seen those like 50-part long TikToks, have you seen a TikTok where there's like 50 parts and it's like all one story, and you can't get the new part until you go to the comments and say like, tag me in part 14.
Yeah, it's like a stitch chain
like
if it was just
chain
one
of
thing stitching itself over and over again.
But without the like loud viral songs being played underneath.
And in my experience, Rick Moranis is there in most movies.
Right, yes, yeah. Rick Moranis is like your dad, but he's a movie star.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've caught the 13-year-olds up.
There's no 13-year-olds listening. They're all playing Palworld right now. But of course, like when Palworld first got announced, I was like completely incensed by the trailer because it was like, you know,
I loved it.
The thing about Palworld, you know, it's taking the subtext of Pokemon, which is like, this is actually kind of if you do a critical analysis of the fiction of Pokemon, if you just nibble at the surface,
right,
it's all just like slavery and dog fighting.
So the reason that it's hard to talk about Palworld is because from my experiences, the people have been kind of insane about this game from both sides, or from many sides.
I heard about this recently. The idea that Pokemon fans are mad that someone ripped off Pokemon is like, my brain actually short circuits anytime I try to think about this.
So first of all, I don't give a fuck about Pokemon's IP. They
Yeah,
can go to hell. Fuck them.
It's
Who
like
cares?
the most successful game of all time.
And
Like
I'm saying this as someone who both has spent a lot of time criticizing Pokemon, but also who would count Pokemon as one of my favorite things in the world. I don't care about their IP. Who cares? Fuck them.
dude, being mad about someone violating the IP of Pokemon is like getting mad that like an online retailer is taking a bite out of Jeff Bezos's sandwich. Like, fuck off.
But you
Just
can
take
find
those
that. You can
crocodile
find
tears and fucking enema yourself with them.
you can find people who are like, fuck Temu. Temu is stealing from Temu is ruining the integrity of real retailers like Amazon.
Well, Temu is bad because it's one of those businesses where like actually the like economics of it don't work out, and it's one of those
the same
things
thing
that
about
just
Amazon.
shouldn't be possible.
That's Kyle. That's literally the same thing about Amazon.
More, yeah, okay, you're right.
And the
But
Amazon, the
it's even
economics of
worse with
Amazon
Temu.
are. I mean, Temu is just trying to Amazon, where Amazon just sold everything at a loss for 20 fucking years, so that they ran everybody out of business and then can kind of do what they want. And then Temu is like, we could do that to Amazon. Now it's only one big store that we got to beat out. All we have to do is just make sure that it's cheaper than it is on Amazon, and we're good.
Right. Okay, so Palworld though.
So Palworld.
So this
Palworld.
announcement trailer comes out, and they show like you having like a bunch of Pokemon, and you're making them do like manual labor tasks. Like these 10 penguins are lifting up a box, and it literally shows what looks like like a sweatshop assembly line of like Leafeons building AK-47s like piece by piece, and maybe there's even tears in their eyes or something. It's like so crazy to me. Like I lost and this came out in 2020 when we all had nothing to do and we were all on one every day.
Yeah.
So I just like lost my mind about this. I was like, this is so deranged. Like, who the fuck would make this? And then I saw other people reacting to it like, oh, what a funny satire of Pokemon. And then I felt like embarrassed, like, oh, did I like take it seriously when I shouldn't have? I feel dumb. But now knowing that this was made by like people who previously made games made of pre-existing assets and they like didn't have artists on their payroll beforehand makes me think like, no, it probably wasn't somebody trying to make like commentary on the game industry.
I think this is complicated. First of all, yes, the CEO of Pocket. Fuck, what are they called? Can you tell me what they're called?
Pocket Duel? No. I have it. I'm looking at my Steam library right here. Store page. Pocket Pair.
So
Duel is close.
the CEO of Pocket Pair is like some dumbass NFT idiot. The last game that they made was I mean, this is the real thing, is that a big stink was made over like, this is important to the timeline of this.
Yeah.
Basically, as Palworld was coming out and after Palworld was coming out, it started going around that their last game was like Among Us. It was an Among Us clone, but the assets were like, or not the assets were AI art, but the like you were drawing. It was like a combination of Among Us and Drawful, where I think you had to figure out who was the one that actually had the right thing, but you didn't actually have to draw. You just used an AI to do the art for you. I'm pretty sure that's what the game is. Yeah. Here's the fucking thing. So that premise is bizarre, and I don't like the AI stuff at any level. But I think that like a lot was made of this game that like is really a nothing game. It's like,
I think so. I think what you're really getting at is that there's one of the controversies swirling around Palworld is that people are combing through its assets trying to prove that either art was directly ripped off of somewhere or it was AI generated, because basically like the CEO came out as being like, said something to the effect of like, AI art generation will be great for game development because you won't need artists anymore. And, now like people, understandably fucking hate this guy for that and like want to prove that the art in his games is fake, which honestly, I think that's one of those things, like it's misunderstanding that like it's the technology isn't actually quite there for you to make
No, it's not.
Palworld without artists.
No, of
so
course.
I think we're safe from that
So,
right this moment.
you know, there's maybe a question of whether, okay, God. So the Palworld thing, because it got so big so fast, it has like totally run away from everyone in every direction. We're leading.
Yeah,
This is like a wheel with 5 spokes, and all of the spokes somehow ended up a mile away from reality. I don't know what the fuck. It's bizarre. Okay, and so it's really hard to sort of to wrap my head around it, you know, enough to explain it in a way that makes sense on a podcast. But yeah, so as the game was coming out, people start talking about the AI, the art imposter thing, AI art imposter. And this leads to people sort of conflating that with Palworld being a game that was full of AI art.
Right.
And which fed because they ripped off Pokemon designs so obviously. I mean, it's self-evident that they did that. Because
before I thought they had just ripped off the style, but
they didn't rip off the style. They ripped off the designs.
Yeah, there actually are like a number of these pals that are just like, when I heard that people were mad that they ripped off Pokemon designs, I was like, no, they didn't. That's just style. That's not, you can't copyright style. But looking at it, it's like some of these are very, very close.
Because they're in a different style, but they are the same designs.
No, I mean, this just looks like modern Pokemon style to me.
I think it skews a little bit like, I don't think it looks the same.
I think the Pokemon is more generic.
It definitely is generic. I think Pokemon is more toony.
This looks very toony.
These are like, they obviously they don't have the talent of the Pokemon designers, or the resources, I guess is another way to say it. Because they look like, it's like, what if you ripped off Pokemon but injected it with, like, you didn't have enough to fill the box, so you fill the rest with Neopets?
I don't know, man. Like, as someone who's largely been on the outside of the recent Pokemon generations, these just look like Pokemon to me. I see zero difference.
I don't love the Pokemon designs lately, but there's a distinct Neopet vibe to the Palworld pals.
What?
They don't have the, they're missing the Pokemon X factor. A lot of the time, I think it's pretty obvious if you looked at them side by side.
But yeah, and now of course I'm the dilemma that I'm caught in, and I saw Patrick Klepek tweeted something like, hey, I'm doing research for a story or something, like, are you a parent? Has your kid asked to play Palworld? Did you let them? Did you not let them? How is Palworld affecting your family life? Please let me know. My DMs are open. And now I'm thinking like, I
don't understand even the...
because it's like, it's extremely cute and it's a survival crafting game, which kids are obsessed with, but
there's like guns and stuff.
There's guns and stuff. So this is my dilemma, is like, if I tell my daughter about this game, and dear God, if I tell her it's available to her immediately because it's on Games Pass, like, she'll never stop playing this. This will be her whole life now. And then, but
I gotta say, it's not that violent.
Yeah, now that I learned just like in Ark, the AK-47s are like 40 hours into the game or something. It's like, maybe she won't even get there.
I played about 15 hours of it, and I unlocked a couple guns for my pals, but they're pals that I don't want to use, and the guns aren't very effective. So I don't know how to get a gun for myself yet. But
yeah, I played a couple hours, and it was just extremely one of those survival crafting games.
It really is. Yeah, it becomes more pal heavy the further into it I get. Now my pals do some real damage. But
there was just this moment, though. I mean, it just like their previous game, it's just two ideas brutally smashed together, like Ark and Pokemon. But there was this moment when I had started the game and I didn't have any pals. I only had survival crafting game stuff, like a big club. And it was like, just like in Pokemon, it's like, you should lower the pal's health to make it easier to catch. And I just like sit there and think about it for a second, and I go, oh, Like
you just
they
beat the
want
shit out of it.
they
Yeah.
want me to beat the shit out of this chicken with my wooden club.
Yeah. Okay. God,
and I did it. Oh, I did it.
I just want to address some of the different like people who are having feelings about this game, positive or negative. We've talked about the people who are mad about the AI. We actually have not finished talking about this. I have not yet finished my first point about the AI thing.
Oh no.
Right. So those people, this is like the anti Palworld because we hate AI camp. That's a fine camp to be in. I think everyone should very strongly consider not playing Palworld on the grounds that the studio is like deeply involved in AI art shit and the CEO seems like an asshole.
Yeah.
And that is a totally fine decision to make. I have seen a lot of like really aggressive accusations about like people like, hey, I thought that you cared about AI art. Like all of a sudden everyone's playing Palworld, but the AI art thing, and it's like sort of blaming people for playing this game. And I understand the impulse a little bit, but I feel like I was actively keeping up with Palworld because I thought it looked interesting for since the first trailer dropped until the release. I didn't hear one word about the AI art imposter game or about the fact that the game seems to have lifted some fan designs, some like fan made Pokemon designs, like without paying them or giving them credit. I didn't hear anything about that until like a full 4-ish days after the game came out. And I really don't want to reflexively assume that the people who are accusing people of playing Palworld despite the AI art thing, I don't want to just assume that those people also didn't just hear about it after the game came out and then went straight to accusing people as if they should have already known something that you yourself just learned.
No, you're saying like I was following this game for 2 years and looking forward to playing it, and you just found out that there might be AI stuff like yesterday, and you're mad at me about it.
Yeah. It's sort of like it sort of feels like totally normal for there's hundreds of thousands of people, there's millions of people playing this game. And it feels so plausible that almost none of them have heard about the game AI Art Imposter. Like, that is so obvious to me that it's a game.
The name of the game.
It's called AI Art Imposter, yeah. AI Art Imposter is an AI drawing party game with 3 to 8 players. You are a progressive artist who commands AI to generate images, and you don't need aesthetic talent to draw good artwork. It only takes 5 minutes to play, and multiplayer between Steam, Android, and iOS
How are
is
we
supported.
Progressive?
I think you're progressive because you're using
like
AI.
We like lightly socialist social programs.
I think it might mean progressive as in like newfangled.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's not what that means, but maybe that's what they meant.
No, this is not an American company.
Yeah.
I think they're a Japanese company. So this is one part of it. This is like the small.
Yeah.
This is like this cohort of people who are anti-Palworld for this AI reason. Again, totally fine to be that way. Then there's the Pokemon people, and the Pokemon people are really funny because Nintendo and Pokemon are so fucking litigious. They're psychotically litigious.
As if Nintendo needed anyone to come to their defense on legal grounds.
And this would be a national lawsuit. This is 2 Japanese companies. There's not even any fair use law in Japan. There's just like absolutely no grounds to like borrow someone's art and then sell it as your own. There's no way around it. If Nintendo had a case, their lawyers would know.
Right.
Because this game, you never would have seen a second trailer for this game.
Yeah, if I know about this game, Nintendo knows about this game.
Right. And there's a couple reasons why I think this could be. It is plainly true that they have lifted Pokemon design elements. It's not like this Pokemon looks like a Leafeon. It's more like this Pokemon looks like 80% like a Leafeon, or like it has Leafeon's face and eyes.
Honestly, you know what it really looks like?
What's
it
up?
Looks like you asked an AI to draw a Leafeon.
It does sort of look like that, yeah. That's another AI thing, is that no one has been able to prove that there's any AI involved in this game at all, but the one thing that sort of feels like it makes sense is people saying using AI for concept art. And I'm like, yeah, that totally feels like it could have happened. That's like the one AI thing in this game that people have reached for that felt like, okay, that makes sense.
I thought you were going to say on Nextlander they mentioned that maybe kind of along the same lines as all the AI stuff is they're saying, maybe these guys like lifted some of like the in-game assets from like from online sources without proper attribution, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I've also heard that. There's I wish I could remember what it was. There's a PAL that looks like a fan artist's like design for a Mega Delphox.
I was thinking more like tables and stuff, like the generic stuff that you could probably...
That stuff is so freely available though. Trees and rocks and landscapes, like that stuff's all just in free libraries.
I guess that's true.
So
yeah,
if you wanted to steal it, you just get the free. It's not like they have good. It's not like they do any of that stuff well. It's like, oh my god, look at these trees.
Right.
Look at the game looks like shit. The game looks like total shit.
Oh god, that is. I'm not gonna say this game should be. I'm not gonna say this game should be winning any art awards, but to say it looks like shit is a wild overstatement.
The only thing that looks good is the PALs. Everything else looks terrible. I mean, I don't think it looks. They have terrible. Fuzzy JPEGs of the bow for the bow and arrow in your inventory. It is like a fuzzy little hyper compressed JPEG. It's crazy.
Keith, it's still in early access. It's still in early access. They're going to fix it.
Sure.
They're going to patch it.
Sure, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. Sure.
Yeah.
Fine.
And
the chicken pals just go bok, bok, bok. I mean, they have chosen scope with their limited resources. That is they have made a bigger game than than that company should have been able to make. And the cracks show, and it's fine. I'm not like stressed out about it. But
it was like $23.
So the other thing, I want to put a pin in that the game looks like shit. And go back to the Pokemon lawsuit people.
Me too.
The other half of this, the other side of this, of like, okay, they don't have a case based on that they couldn't convince a judge that this game is Pokemon enough or hurt Nintendo in some way. I don't think that's true. I think that if Nintendo really wanted to go after these guys, they could.
That is my feeling.
Yeah.
Honestly, the most compelling thing I've heard as to why they haven't is just you saying like they would have done it already.
Right. Well,
right.
I want to figure out if I believe that they could have done it. Why haven't they? And there's one thing that you can go ahead.
No, you sorry.
So
go ahead.
I think my feeling is that Nintendo does not want to associate itself with this. Like they don't want to claim that this is doing Pokemon well enough that it hurts them. I really believe this.
The question in my mind is like, did they maybe not go after it, like you said, because they didn't want to draw attention to it? They're like, maybe we'll just ignore this and it'll just be a modest
But they
hit.
shut down fan games.
Whatever. Yeah,
They shut down fan games that would only ever have 12,000 people see them. It's
weird because to me, Nintendo's best shot was to cease and desist them back when they had no money and Nintendo had $1 bazillion. But now they're screwed because they sold 7 million copies and they could actually mount a workable legal defense.
Yeah. And I genuinely don't think that Nintendo is a wait and see company. As
Yeah,
far as I
that's
know,
true.
there's not like a bunch of new leadership that is taking
Not when it comes to legal
'cause,
stuff.
like-
I think they're a wait and see company on a lot of things,
oh,
but not
right,
that.
yeah, not that, yeah. In terms of prosecuting people for infringing on their copyrights, they're not a wait and see company. In terms of, part of the reason why this game has done so well is people who theoretically want to be playing a really good Pokemon game and have not had one of those to play. I think that
Yeah,
they're
there's
not
only
a
been
wait and see company.
45 of them, and none of them are good.
Uh, so I believe that Nintendo believes that it would lower their stock to have to make a serious complaint that this is too much like Pokemon.
Mm.
And I basically think that they're right. Like, this game is not really very much like Pokemon.
I thought this game was below Nintendo's dignity until it sold 7 million copies in a week, and now it almost feels like,
yeah.
I bet Nintendo is kicking themselves for not
But the problem
doing
is
something.
The problem I think that Nintendo's having is this narrative that Palworld looks like what a Pokemon game would look like if Pokemon was properly made.
It's interesting that
that
people
idea
are
is
kind
psychotic. It's
psychotic.
psychotic.
I know there's this idea that people are saying like that they're mad not because Pokemon is being ripped off, but that they feel like the Pokemon games recent ones aren't good enough, and they're like, look at this shitty indie game that's like, showing you up or something and making you look bad, when like Palworld isn't even like Pokemon.
No, it's not. It's not like, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I see people who like ostensibly are big fans of Pokemon, and the thing that they really want is for like Game Freak to get their act together and then play Palworld and go, now this is more like it. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How is this the answer to your problem? Like, I don't understand.
Honestly, like, I'm more interested to play more Palworld than more Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh, I think that Arceus is about 1 billion times better. In the Arceus, so the thing is that in any way that Palworld seems like a Pokemon game, the game that it seems like is Arceus. That is the game that it is sort of close to. And I think Scarlet and Violet has some of that stuff too. I haven't played Scarlet and Violet. It's the first Pokemon game that's come out that I haven't played. Because I heard that it ran poorly, and I thought that there would be a new Switch out by now, and there isn't. I was gonna pirate it. I mean, I wasn't going to pirate it. I was going to think really hard about playing it on my computer and wishing that were somehow possible. But I just didn't. I forgot.
Oh, you didn't though?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive that I didn't.
This is a safe space.
I wanted to pirate it, and I downloaded the ROM.
Okay.
And then I never set it up because it was harder to set up than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I just heard I heard not good things and went, forget it, because I don't even like Pokemon that much when the reviews are really good.
And I'll say this, I really hate that dragon bike legendary thing. I think it's really ugly. I don't like that you I don't like that they give you a legendary Pokemon and that the legendary Pokemon is a dragon motorcycle.
Okay, yeah.
And so that really threw me off.
You should just remember. Hey, Keith, you remember the original Pokemon?
Yeah.
Remember when you were just like a kid?
Yeah.
You walked around?
Yeah.
Then you got a bike?
Yeah.
It was faster.
What if that bike was a Gyarados?
Hang on. I thought you were trying to make this not sound cool.
Oh, what if that bike was
a Gyarados as a bike sounds pretty cool.
Well, I think it looks dumb, and I just don't like it. It just is a bad idea, I think.
Yeah, well, it could just be an electric bike.
Yeah, it could just be an electric bike.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't need to. This is like when they gave Link a motorcycle. Like this, I don't deny that it's cool, but it's too cool. It's fiction-breakingly
for
cool.
Pokemon, I think I deny that it's cool. For Breath of the Wild, I'll give it to you that it is cool.
I will grant that it's
the
cool. Idea of a Pokemon becoming a rideable motorcycle is a bit out there.
It's a bit out there. And
like,
and
why
again,
not just
legendary Pokemon used to mean something.
I know.
and I don't know if you watched any of my legendary Pokemon stream. This was really brought on partially by my dissatisfaction with the Scarlet and Violet thing. But legendary Pokemon have been bad for like 7 of the last 9 generations. Like, because they just like haven't had it. Like, legendary Pokemon, by and large, suck shit. Like, they can't stop making. It's the exact same problem that 3D Sonic games have. They can't stop making giant chaos monsters.
Yeah, they make like these weird kaiju things.
Like, it used to be Firebird, Lightning Bird, Ice Bird. Like, can we get back to a simpler time?
Lightning Cat, Fire Dog.
Yeah. Can we get back? Can we get back?
Ice Dog.
Yeah. Like, again, a Firebird, Psychic Bird. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We need more types for sure.
Sure. And I think that there's something about like the legendary dogs, the legendary birds, the Ho-Oh and Lugia. You know, there's like a majesty to them, but they're not.
Everyone loves them.
Like Lovecraftian demigods. You know what I mean? and I don't know when that bridge was crossed. But it was a bad bridge, and it's been years. It's been so many years. I will say that there was some actually really great legendary Pokemon that I was not familiar with because they were Scarlet and Violet in my tier list that I did, and I was like, oh, I actually really like some of these legendary designs. The most like positive stuff was like Gen 1 and Gen 2 and the Gen whatever, the Scarlet and Violet stuff that I had never seen before.
I liked the Sword and Shield dogs.
I like them too. This is what I'm talking about. I didn't like one of them. I liked the other one. I liked the sword one. The shield one's a little goofy.
Oh,
but it's fine.
I'm obligated to have a soft spot for the shield one because I had shield.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you like it, and I didn't dock it so many points, I don't think, for that.
Thank you.
So anyway, Pokemon.
The deer from X.
Oh, I don't like the deer from X. But it's better than the Y. So
yeah.
The Pokemon Palworld is similar in a lot of ways to Arceus, and I think Arceus is just as a Pokemon game, it's way better because it has things that Pokemon games have.
Oh man, like, you know what?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you're right, but it's. I'm remembering now. It was like the first hour of Arceus. It was nothing but just fucking random people talking to you in text about nothing.
It did have a slow start.
In Palworld, fucking no one talks to you about anything.
Yeah,
you just start. It's incredible.
But I think that we have to admit that Arceus. You know, I don't like to say that Pokemon is a game for kids, but it has to also be for kids. Like it has to be made so that kids can play it because Pokemon understands that they have an audience of adults and an audience of kids that play their games. And I do think that the Arceus intro was too long. But I think I can forgive some of it because it's for kids.
No Pokemon game should require an introduction longer than Red and Blue. Right?
Red and Blue had like a medium length introduction.
I mean, there was the getting the potion, like getting the parcel for Oak from the store and bringing it back to his lab. That was a bit much. But like, other than that, it was just like, He shows you how to catch a Pokemon. He gives you your first Pokemon. His grandson's a douchebag, and you need to catch a Pokemon before you can leave the first town.
And then
Done.
And then you meet the other guy who gives you the other intro.
Old man.
On how to throw Pokeballs.
Yeah, you're talking about old man.
Old man, yeah.
He hasn't had his coffee,
Man.
depending on who you ask.
Right.
Fucking Japan was so wild in the 80s and 90s that the Japanese, in the American version, the old man who shows you how to catch a Pokemon, it's like he's grumpy because he hasn't had his coffee, and in the Japanese version, his granddaughter's just like, my grandpa's drunk again. He won't move because he's drunk.
Anyway, it is just like, it's just kind of funny to me how thin the connection is between Palworld and Pokemon. And regardless of how you feel about survival games like that, I'm not really a fan of them. Mostly anyway. But it's kind of difficult to say that instead of developing better Pokemon games, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo should be like turning Pokemon into a survival game. Like, I'm just like,
well,
I'm very confused
I think people want more bigger swings.
But are Pokemon fans done with the Pokemon battle system? Are they just saying, like, the very idea of a turn-based game is part of what Nintendo needs to be fixing? Because to me, that's
probably
insane.
I don't want there to be a world where no one ever makes traditional turn-based Pokemon games, but I definitely think they need to branch out.
There's almost no, I mean, can we talk about a company that has more different fucking games than Pokemon? Like, it's Mario, and that's it. There's tons of Pokemon games that aren't mainline Pokemon games that have...
But not ones that try to deliver something of the spirit of the mainline games. You know, like Pokemon Troze is not, I don't think, what people want.
What's Pokemon Troze?
That's some fucking DS game that sucked ass. You know, I don't know, some like weird
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon.
That's just fucking Sheer and the Wanderer.
Okay, but Palworld is just Arc Pokemon. Like, what are we doing? Every game is just two different games mashed up.
Yeah, okay.
You can do that with anything.
Yeah. It is funny though. Of course, like,
I should say just real quick. Sorry, I just want to get this in on this. The worst part about Palworld is throwing your pal at another pal and having them lob shitty looking moves at each other. It's not good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. There is nothing there. I mean, give them $1 billion and then be like, make this better, and I'm sure that it could be better. But it is like, it feels more like playing Digimon World than playing Pokemon. Like, you're just a guy standing around while your thing shoots the thing and you run around. Like, really?
I don't know, man. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. It is the worst part. Conceptually, it's pretty good. But, like, it's so unimpressive, and it so doesn't deliver on what Pokemon does. The reason that Pokemon needs to be abstracted into a turn-based thing is that Wailord is the size of a town, and Caterpie is the size of a thumb, and Charizard is the size of a man, and Snorlax is the size of 8 men. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have an open world game that takes seriously that Pokemon is a world full of extremely different creatures, and you can't have you can't show surf happening. You can't do it.
Says you.
You can't do it.
Fuck you.
You can't do it. It can't be done.
I'll fuck.
You can show Hyper Beam. You can show Flamethrower. You can't
How
show
can surf not be done?
You cannot have an open world game where a fucking giant wave comes and swallows up the battlefield because you have to be standing on the battlefield.
Oh, I thought you meant surf as in you ride on a Pokemon's back through the water. I'm like, that does not sound that fucking hard.
No. I mean, the move set, the reality of the move set of Pokemon disqualifies it.
They can change that stuff. I mean, surf can just be like a big wave of water comes out of the Pokemon. Like, they put it in Pokemon Stadium. What's the fucking difference?
Because it's not a game where you've got to have a bunch of people running around.
I think this is some people's points is like they are willing. They're not as interested in this idea of like the sanctity of the Pokemon mechanics. They're like,
then what do they want?
I think they just want
to play a first-person shooter, but there's Pokemon there, or like Splinter Cell, but there's Pokemon there.
The thing is, you are one of the world's premier non-fans of survival crafting games or whatever. I think a lot of people love those games, so just the idea like, yeah, it's art, but there's Pokemon. I just think that does a lot more for a lot of people.
But there's such an irony, though, to the fact that the people who want more and better and interesting Pokemon games, where they're taking bigger swings, are also a fan of the fucking litter genre that is just like, it is all just the same horseshit reskinned. How many different games do you want to play where you chop down a tree to get wood to build a house, to build a crafting station, to build a wooden hammer, to build a stone hammer, to build a steel hammer, to be how
many times do you want to have to do growl and tackle on a bird
But
Pokemon?
I'm not the one who's telling them that they've got to change all that.
I am.
They're the ones who are like, I want to play Minecraft 12 different ways, including Pokemon Minecraft, but it's Pokemon that needs to get their shit together and change, not me.
I don't know.
I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think they know what they want. Well, we're dealing with people who don't know what they want, and they're dealing with ideas that they have sort of like memeified in their mind. Like these are not real ideas that these people are having.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
But I think, it's, that like, that idea people talk about in game development where it's like, listen to play testers when they say that there's a problem, just don't listen to them about what they think the problem is. Like, sure. I think what people are expressing is they're not happy with the state of the Pokemon franchise. I
totally agree. I fully agree. Yeah. But we, as people who've been covering that problem for a really long time.
Too long.
I remember when I thought that the problem with Pokemon was that they were stuck in 2D. They need to go and make a 3D game. They need to make another Pokemon Stadium. Which is still true, by the way.
That stuff.
They need to like figure out how to make you run around in a space in a way that feels like how Pokemon is supposed to feel, and they need to like turn the abstractions and the representationality of 2D Pokemon games into real towns that feel like comfortable and cute and fun and like a Pokemon place.
Is there a butt coming?
Yes, there is.
Why? This all sounds accurate.
We've talked about this. I'm actually surprised you don't remember us talking about that. I've changed my mind about this. The first thing is, I do think that that's not a bad direction to go in, and they've started to go in that direction with Arceus. I think they're tremendously limited, both by whatever fucking politics prevent them from taking the big swings that they need to be taking, but also by the limitations of the Switch. They can't make a game that's more than Arceus because they tried and they got a ton of shit. First of all, they got shit for how Arceus looks, and I think Arceus looks way better than Palworld does. I think it's kind of crazy that the same people that were giving Arceus shit for looking like a PS2 game think that Palworld looks good, I don't even know what to do with that.
But I mean, they have the resources of Nintendo, though,
They
so maybe
do.
people have a point when they're like, it should be better.
They do, but at some point we've got to deal with the world as it is, right? We have to say that Arceus just looks better than Palworld, and I don't even think it's that close.
Well, okay. I think stylistically you're absolutely right, because of course Arceus has that really cool well, it has the Japanese style to it, real world inspired. Blah blah blah. And Palworld is just kind of doing a random sort of generic Pokemon ripoff thing. I will give Palworld this much though, compared to Arc, because I think you said you haven't played it. The thing about Arc is, it is like when you jump in and start playing it, it is immediately like super obtuse. The interface is terrible and it's ridiculously hard. And Palworld is at least not those things.
You think Arceus is hard? Oh, Arc. Sorry,
Arc.
I get it. Yeah,
that's not Arceus. Just
we
Arc.
have come pretty far in the last 7 years in knowing how to make those games.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think it's interesting. It's just I guess it is like a stylistic thing. Like you look at Palworld and it's like, okay, like there's a lot of grass, but the grass kind of looks like shit, and there's like a lot of trees, but they like everything just looks like stock textures and stock. Like it looks like some shitty free paint tool where you painted the ground with grass texture.
I feel like I have to load up Palworld right now. Like this, it can't be that bad.
Hey, you know what? I'll say this. I didn't touch my my video settings at all. Maybe Palworld it defaulted to low everything.
I have my stuff set to high everything.
I'll go look. I'll launch Palworld right now and I'll go see, hey, maybe I've been on low everything and actually this game looks better than I thought.
Yeah, you'll put up the sliders. Oh my god, this is way better than Arceus now. This is
but
actually,
again, there's just no getting over that Arceus is heavily stylized or medium stylized, and Palworld is Unity store.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally. And that honestly is what's funny about it, is that makes it feel even more like Arc, because Arc also had that extremely generic looking, yes, it's all competent and fairly well rendered, but it looks like it came straight out of a user created asset store.
There is just something about that style that I've seen it a million times.
Nice.
I've been seeing it, I've been seeing it forever. For years and years, and it just doesn't. I just can't look at it positively at this point.
I think it is. I think it looks good. I think it's pleasing to the eye. I think if you want to call it creatively bankrupt
to the heart.
Yeah, right. I can see it. And I wanted to touch back on that, the whole dog fighting, slavery, malign politics of both Palworld and Pokemon. The thing that concerns me about Palworld is the vibe I always had from the thing that bothered me about Pokemon in this regard is oh, they know what they're doing, but they're just pretending it's really happy. Oh, this is pernicious because it makes it seem like this worldview is okay or something. Whereas Palworld just feels like they don't even know. They're just what's better than Pokemon and guns in the same place? Whereas Nintendo, to me, it's Nintendo, it's but you're just pretending you don't know. And Palworld's what politics issues? We love these pals.
You know what it is? I checked, by the way. I was one step down from the highest thing. Let's see. I had this. Oh, you know what? I've been playing on my Xbox. I just realized I haven't been playing on my computer. So
Oh.
I'm now on my computer on the Xbox app. Um
Whoa.
so like it loaded up and I was like, why am I having to like say okay? And I am seeing that this looks better than it does on my Xbox.
That's good.
It's still one of the other issues is that it still looks like a world where cartoon animals were dropped into
Yes,
a realistic Unity looking environment.
the style totally clashes. For me, I feel like that is, it I know it's like it's a very convenient type of intentionality. Like we just so happened to pick an extremely generic style for all the environmental assets.
Yeah.
But like it does feel like an intentional style clash almost to me.
I will say this probably looks like fully 35% better than it does on my Xbox. I'm on the
That's good.
highest setting on my computer, and
Nice.
there's more green on the trees. The trees don't look bare. They look fuller. There's more grass. The grass, I mean, this is probably just the monitor. The grass looks greener. The draw distance is way further. There's like
Nice.
way better like detail off in the distance. It doesn't have the thing that the Xbox does where like any pal that is more than 45 feet away from me is going at like 12 frames per second. You know what I
I
mean?
hate that.
I hate
Yeah.
that. Just blur it out. I'd rather be blurry
Yeah,
than stuttering.
I've been playing Dark Souls 2 on the PC recently, and that has like, it had it has like unlocked frame rate and all this stuff, and you
Yeah.
can crank all the settings up, but there's no setting for don't cut the frame rate of the enemy by 75% when it's more than 50 feet away from you.
And anyway, Pokemon Arceus benefits from the Pokemon and the landscape feeling like they were made in the same building.
Right.
Instead of this, which is like they
Oh,
obviously made all of these pals at their studio, and all of these assets are from some asset store.
maybe.
I am
Probably.
I think that we can say 100%.
Yeah,
I think that
okay.
we can say 100%.
Okay, fair. I did want to say though, and you point out the thing about the technical performance of the recent Pokemon games on the Switch, like, Game Freak is hampered by the performance of the Switch. Like, yes, like clearly they are, since their games aren't performing well.
Yeah.
But looking at the games, I cannot get past the feeling that some other team could get these games to run. Like, they don't look beyond the capabilities of the Switch. They just are beyond the capabilities of the Switch somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's impossible to know what's going on at Game Freak. There's clearly something wrong there. It's hard to know what. I like, or I don't want to put it all on Game Freak show. I would say if I had to guess, there's a problem.
Might even be strong, but
I would say if there's something wrong somewhere, it's equally, if not more likely, that the issue is at Nintendo or at the Pokemon Company.
Maybe,
the Pokemon Company, it owns a huge percentage of what Pokemon is. It has a big say in what gets made and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And as far as they're concerned, Pokemon is raking in the dough. Like if there's some process by which Game Freak has to clear what they're doing with the Pokemon Company, I can absolutely see a world where Game Freak is like, hey, we really want to be doing more stuff, and Pokemon Company is like, how about you focus on printing money still?
right. Sorry, is that gonna slow down the ATM in my office? Because if so, no.
Because
just keep doing it.
Because who mostly is over Game Freak? It is people who are video game developers, and my impression of video game developers is that they are not They're not
they don't like
super
making
likely,
mediocre games.
Yeah, they're not super likely to be like, yeah, can't wait to pump out another pile of shit.
Can't wait to kill myself for 8
Can't-
years to make the exact same game I just made.
Yeah, I really truly believe that like, unless it's one guy at the very top, pretty much everyone at Game Freak is probably dying to make a better game.
And if it was just one guy, I feel like we would have heard rumors about it by now.
Yes. And so I think people don't give enough credit to how big the Pokemon machine is they lay the blame at Game Freak's feet. But who knows? I don't know, just like they don't know. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Hang on.
Do we have anything else to say about Palworld before we please talk about something else?
I think I do. Okay.
That's fine, as long as we still have stuff.
It looked like maybe there was suddenly like a lot of noise on my mic that wasn't there before, but it was maybe already there. So whatever.
Yeah, it was. So I heard there was like an adjustment. You adjusted your mic?
No.
Oh, I heard like two big instances
just
of
now
static.
I unplugged it twice to see if that would fix it. Yeah, and as we're talking about Game Freak and the culture there, I feel like I heard recently that like in terms of like crunch and stuff, maybe they have a good culture, like they don't crunch a lot or something, and so I feel bad being like, come on guys, pick it up or whatever, but
well, it's I think fundamentally it's not an issue of time, it's an issue of management.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Take an extra year if you've got to take an extra year, like
they didn't even want to make mainline Pokemon games console games until they were their hand was forced.
I truly believe this is total. I was just talking about this the other day. I believe this based on nothing but intuition that Pokemon factored in heavily to the development and even the idea of a Switch. Like, hey, here's how we finally get a Pokemon game that has the power enough to be a real game that people want to play in the 2020s.
Here's how we shut up the people that keep asking us to make home Pokemon games.
Right,
that are
we've just got
Pokemon
to make
games.
our home console also our pocket console. We just have to merge these ideas, and then we will not be hypocrites. We will not be going back on our word.
It was still the smartest thing they ever did, though.
It totally was. Hey, the Switch was great. We just need a Switch too. I was like,
you heard the rumors it's coming, right?
Well, there's been rumors it's coming for 3 years.
I know, but supposedly they're really mounting now or whatever.
Yeah. I heard it's gonna have almost as much power as an Xbox One.
Did you hear that?
I did hear a rumor that it was going to be comparable to the Xbox One. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard like the recent or most recent Nextlander podcast, but I guess there's been things like
I haven't listened to any video game podcast for months.
Oh, okay. They were saying that there's been talk of like basically not like rumors like leaks, but like basically like industry analysis, people being like, seems like somebody's buying a lot of LCD screens that look like they could be good for a Switch 2, and no one else would need this volume of these screens or something like that.
Sure. I would love if they did some like, hey, and surprise, it's out this year. That's very Nintendo to me.
That's the word. People keep saying it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I will, if it comes out this year, I'll be happy. And I will buy it. I mean, Nintendo is in such a great position. They're the only console manufacturers where people are routinely begging to be able to buy new consoles. Please make another console for us to buy. No, Sony and Microsoft would kill to have people. Whenever the idea that there's more consoles to buy come out for the other two, people are like, fuck off, fuck
but
you.
That's why Nintendo, they're fucking smart. That's why they win, man.
This is how they win.
This is how they win. Fucking like, Xbox and Sony, Microsoft and Sony, it's like I hate them because they're always so stupid. And
Yeah.
Nintendo, I hate them because they're always so smart. Like everything
Yeah.
Nintendo does, I'm like, I fucking hate that you did. Like it's great for you, but I'm mad that you did that.
And I do understand, like, when I'm happy and comfortable with my Switch 2 in November, and I'm playing the new Pokemon game on the Switch 2. This is now too good to be true.
No.
This is not happening.
No. I was like, I was right there with you. You're like, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna have a Switch 2, and I'm like, yep, I'm right there in your vision. You're like, I'm gonna be playing a good Pokemon game on it. I'm like,
well, I haven't played enough of it to for it to be bad yet.
Okay, this theoretical new Pokemon
game, yeah. So and then you ask me like, hey, would you be so happy if 2 years ago you had spent $400 on a refresh of the Switch? And I'd be like, you're right. I don't want that to have happened.
Right, yeah,
now.
no, I never wanted a Switch Pro. I'm totally glad that they skipped that idea. And in fact, I fucking burned myself because I bought the fucking
I never did. I
OLED
held
Switch. Out. Yeah, and I still like I fucking replay that exchange in my head constantly that we had where you were like, it's bigger, right? Sharper, brighter, and I'm just like, yeah.
I was begging you to convince me to buy an OLED.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it. I'd never be able to live with myself. It's just not worth it.
And like the problem is they keep underpowering their systems, and so everyone always wants a slightly more powerful Nintendo console than the console that they have.
That's how they win.
But if they were a little fucking smarter, they'd just be a little bit better. And then because I was the holdout. I was the person, you can go back to Run Button podcasts from 2 years ago. I was the person that was getting annoyed with people who were like mad at the Switch for not being able to run games. And it's like, I want to use my Switch, but my Switch doesn't run games, so I can't use my Switch.
My Switch doesn't run games. It's like more powerful than a 360. My Switch doesn't run games.
Well, but that's the thing. It's blame the fact that the entire industry is fucking cumming their pants to make games that don't run anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's who you have to blame. You have to blame whatever societal forces, market forces, interpersonal, like psychology, whatever it is that's happening that is making people dump tens of millions of dollars into developing games that no one can run because almost no one has a computer as good as mine. I can't run every game on max settings, and my computer is so
crazy.
fucking good. I have a 4070 Ti.
Every time I'm at your house, I joke that your graphics card just looks like there's an Xbox One inside your PC.
It looks, it's the size, my 4070 Ti is the size of an Xbox Series S. Like almost literally. It is double the size of a Switch. It's probably triple the weight of a Switch.
Yeah,
And if you told me to play, if you went and were like, okay, now go play the newest Call of Duty game on max settings, I would get like 90 frames.
Oh, just 90?
Just 90. Yeah, just 90. This fucking thing should be able to run Call of Duty 165 frames per second. There's just no excuse. Call of Duty. It's not Crisis.
Everyone's fucking, I can't believe you're sad about 90. Everyone's rock hard over 40 hertz mode these days.
I don't get the joke.
Oh, you don't know about 40 hertz mode?
No.
It's like, I guess 40 hertz, because 40 hertz is a multiple of 160 hertz, I believe, and 120 or something. Basically, it's like, you know how the game will look the best when the frame rate is locked to the refresh rate of the monitor. Yeah. So it's like, 60 frames on 60 hertz, that looks the best or whatever. And there's this thing now where like, because when you're in the games that have those like fucking You know, like they have those 4K optimization settings. Like, do you want performance mode or graphics mode or whatever? And now some of these games, they've gotten huge praise for a 40 hertz mode where it's like the game will be locked at 40, but it'll be the greatest looking 40 you've ever seen. And people are over the moon about this.
This feels fake.
It doesn't make any sense to me, and people
40 is 40.
swear by it.
I don't even give a shit about VSync. I don't care, whatever. Frame rate go all over the place as long as it's above 100 for me.
Above 100. That's, I mean, it's nice, but don't you think that's a little high?
No. Oh my
like,
God.
Here's
the thing. We have pumped so much money, you and I personally. No, the video game industry has pumped so much money into ray tracing. And it's like,
yeah,
it's not even good. It doesn't even look good.
Yeah, I know. It's like
so you laughed at the Call of Duty 90 frames per second. If I go play Cyberpunk with ray tracing on, I get like 22 frames a second.
Ray tracing is like the greatest coup that graphics cards have ever gotten, because like ray tracing mode is just the like make you feel like you need a new graphics card mode.
It like sometimes looks really neat if you stop and like look at all the things, but it doesn't matter. And it's like, it just is worse than intentionally designed lighting, and it's more expensive to
20 or 30 years from now, when all our game machines can just casually do full ray traced lighting, it'll be great, and we'll all not
I have
miss
bad news for you about what's going to happen
lighting.
to the world between now and 30 years from now.
Right.
We're not going to be wondering about ray tracing. That is going to be the least of our... We're going to be road tracing our way to work in canoes. And ray tracing will not have helped. It will have only hurt.
I'm so mad that you beat me to a ray tracing pun about a bleak future.
The thing is that it is so, even if ray tracing was better, it is so not worth it to instantly make the game 800% harder to run.
It sounds crazy, but it is, like, in a lot of ways, it's like the fancier anti-aliasing. It's like, hey, do you want to cut your performance in half so that the edges of everything look a little blurry? No?
Yeah, do you want like the dark places? Do you want it to be like realistically dark, as in too dark to see underneath this porch because the game knows that no light would be going there? And it's like, no, I want to see the skeleton and the writing on the wall that's under there. There's stuff under there for me to see. I want to see it.
And of course it's in this era where you can't, there's I don't know of any games really that force you to use ray tracing, that like you can't guarantee which version the user is going to be using. So what are they going to see? So there's essentially two versions of the lighting in like every game.
Yeah. And then
it's kind of like reminds me of like those old Sega games that had like a second soundtrack if you had like the FM synth add-on for the Master System or something.
And of course, what's going on when no one's game can run ray tracing, or your fucking textures are so high that everyone, you could have a 4060 and you're still getting 30 frames per second even with ray tracing off. And it's like, oh, well, how about our like AI frame generation? We can just use AI to put dupe frames in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, Tom Cruise is at the beginning of movies telling you to turn that off your TV, and people in video games are like, yeah, fucking put anything extra in there. Give me, I don't even care. 2 out of every 3 frames can be fake. Just let me turn the graphics all the way up. Meanwhile, the actual thing that people should want is worse looking games at 165 frames per second at 100 with 165 hertz monitor. That shit looks good. Everything that looks so good.
It does look so good.
You can really, really tell the difference between 60 hertz and 165.
Yes, you can. And like I even remember like when I first got like when I got the 140 hertz monitor and like like a highly responsive mouse, and then went back to playing uh the Halo with Portals game. What was it fucking called?
Um,
Oh my god.
I can't remember.
Holy shit, it's just gone.
It's just gone. They took it off Steam. They took it out of our brains. Splitgate.
Splitgate. Why did I bring that up? What was I saying about
165
Splitgate?
hertz. First time.
Oh yeah. I had been playing Splitgate, and just like the day that I got my new mouse and new monitor, I was instantly like way better at killing people. I felt like an angel of death. Like I was just like untouchable.
Yeah.
Um.
Anyway,
Hey.
the game should look worse. Make them cheaper to develop. Make them easier to play. You shouldn't have to have the second best graphics card of the newest generation of graphics cards
Ugh.
to play on the second highest.
Yeah.
Setting.
And by the way, guys, I don't know who you let. I mean, I do know who you let, but whoever convinced you to believe that you need half generation step up consoles, they lied to you.
They lied
Stop
to you.
it.
Yeah.
Stop wanting that.
It's
you don't want that.
They keep
actually.
making the games too good. Just make the games better, slower.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to fucking incept the idea that like games don't have to look like that into people's brains.
Well,
I don't know.
what was Jordan's viral tweet? I want shorter games with worse graphics.
I remember this.
Something.
That's basically
Sorry,
what it is.
everyone listening to this already knows the thing I can't remember.
Yeah.
I want shorter games with worse graphics made by people who are paid more to make them, and I'm not joking, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That was Jordan?
That was Jordan. Jordan did that.
Wow, that was like huge.
Yeah, it was. Hey, you want to just jump ship entirely from this whole conversation? Poof, ripcord.
Just a couple quick things. Second highest all-time peak players, Palworld. Crazy, right?
Of any game?
On Steam, yeah.
Like, of all the games that have ever been on Steam?
Literally, yes. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Was it not true?
What? I'm just in a serious state of denial.
So
like,
they've got 762,000 peak players. Or current players. Their peak current is 2.1 million. I swear to God that I saw this. Where let me look at the Steam charts.
Like, if this game if this is like already beaten Dota, I don't know what to think. I guess it wouldn't include Fortnite.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, it's the highest
Legends.
all-time peak, 2.1 million all-time peak. Beats out Counter-Strike's all-time peak of 1.8. Dota 2's all-time peak of 1.3 million. By the way, this is million. Baldur's Gate 3's peak 875,000. PUBG. Oh wait, no. This is for some reason not exactly. Okay, I was right. I was right. Second highest, and I was right. The highest is PUBG, 3.2 million.
Wow.
So but Palworld number 2 at 2.1 million.
Now PUBG. Now there's a game that deserves to have the record for peak concurrence.
By the way, not a ton of viewers on Twitch. They're like number 4 on Twitch. By the way, Twitch, I regularly check to see every couple of months, regularly check to see like what's going on Twitch. Like, what are the games that people are watching on Twitch? It's always the most boring list of games of all time. Right now, or as when we started, the Twitch most popular games of the moment were Grand Theft Auto 5 with 250,000 viewers, League of Legends with 200,000 viewers, Fortnite with 113,000 viewers, Palworld with 94,000.
Well, they haven't seen him before.
I know. Counter-Strike with 86,000. Then it goes down. Valorant, Dota 2, EA Sports.
Valorant?
Valorant, yeah. Valorant's pretty big.
Wow. I had no idea Valorant was
I don't know
still
what the
popular.
fuck FC24 is. It's a soccer game, obviously, but I thought that EA's soccer game was FIFA. EA Sports FC24.
I think they might have parted ways with FIFA.
Oh, well, good. Fuck FIFA. I mean, fuck EA too, though, but whatever.
But don't quote me on that. Obviously, I don't fucking pay attention
Call of
to
Duty
sports.
Warzone, Escape from Tarkov, Apex Legends, Tekken 8.
I've never played
Minecraft.
Escape from Tarkov. People like that one, right?
Yeah, people do, but I don't think it looks very good. I think it's. Have you played Call of Duty Warzone? Because it's that.
Actually, I have not.
Or
maybe like once.
It is an extraction shooter. Did you play?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know what that means when people say that.
Okay. Think of a battle royale where there's missions that you do, and then instead of fighting to be the last person, you find like a helicopter and leave.
Okay. And what kind of missions?
It'll be like hunt down this other squad of real players, or find this, find these 3 passcodes and steal the money from this safe, or don't be killed by this squad of players that are hunting you, or go to this place that has like AI bots, not AI bot, like, AI bot. Sorry, the meaning of AI has changed, and I immediately second guessed what it meant when an NPC was running around. AI bots, you go and you fight the bots, and then you beat the bot king, and then these are the kinds of missions.
That sounds neat, though.
Yeah, in practice, they're not very fun. It's just it's so depressing to me. Play other games, watch other games. What is going on? Grand Theft Auto 5? Are you kidding me? What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't.
What is it? Why do people want to watch the same fucking thing over and over again? And not just in this, in everything. That is the world we live in. You want to go on Twitch. You want to watch the same fucking game that you watch all the time. You want to spend. This is year number 12 of watching Grand Theft Auto 5 on Twitch. And then you want to go on TikTok and you want to watch the same fucking videos and then comment the same stupid memes. And then you go on Netflix on your laptop and rewatch The Office or Friends for the 12th time. And I'm like, what is going on?
Dude, oh my God.
Why it feels like people have been like put on cultural ice.
Yeah, like I honestly think everyone's lives are so miserable that they just scurry like rats to the thing that just gives them the simplest pleasure or something.
Which is slowly rolling a boulder up a hill until it rolls back down. Life's simplest pleasure. I go to work all day and I do the same fucking thing over and over again, day in and day out. I just want to go home, kick my feet up, and do the same fucking thing over and over again, day in and day out. I hate this place.
Listen, I actually, you know what? If I'm being honest, I like the place. I just don't like all the other people in it. I wish they would go.
By the way, speaking of people doing the same thing over and over again, the Steam charts right now, Palworld brand new, which you said, the rest of the games on the top 11 list that I have here. Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, Baldur's Gate 3, another new game, PUBG, Enshrouded, another new game. Rust.
Sorry, and you mean Go when you say Counter-Strike 2, right?
No, I mean Counter-Strike 2.
There's a game called Counter-Strike 2?
Yeah, it came out a little bit ago.
What?
Yeah, it's the sequel to Counter-Strike Go.
Oh, Counter-Strike 2, the second Counter-Strike.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the Counter-Strike 2 that is number 2 right now is the new Counter-Strike 2, not the old Counter-Strike 2.
Well, there was no, like, I thought people meant, oh my God, Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah.
How did I know? Release date? This can't be this.
Maybe there's
Because this says it was released 12 years ago, and that's not
maybe
possible.
I'm wrong about what that game. I played with my cousin Ted, who likes Counter-Strike. The new Counter-Strike game that came out.
A free upgrade to CS:GO, Counter-Strike 2 marks the largest technical leap in Counter-Strike's history.
Yeah.
So
okay,
I guess
there we go.
Yeah, it's like Go 2 or Go Upgrade or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wild to me because I was gonna say I was gonna be like, it drives me crazy that people call Counter-Strike Go Counter-Strike 2 because it's actually the third Counter-Strike, and now it's actually Counter-Strike 2 is the fourth one. Yeah. Because there was Source in
Enshrouded, that's a new game. Rust, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto 5, Apex Legends, and Team Fortress 2. Just insane. It's just insane. Nice.
Oh, man.
Like, I would never say that none of these games are worth playing. It is just so weird.
No, they're all great.
It's just so weird. I don't know about all, but they're mostly good.
Mostly great.
It's just very strange where the chips have fallen. And it's just like, this is just what we do. I don't know.
Wild.
It's bizarre. Yeah, it's bizarre. Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, I go on TikTok and I'm scrolling and I'll see a video and it'll be like, I don't know, like a cow throws a frisbee. And there'll be like 20 comments in a row that's like, we got cow throwing frisbee before we got Grand Theft Auto 6. And it's like, why?
Oh my God.
Like, I just don't know what to think about that.
Did you make up that example?
Yes, I did.
You know what? Speaking of Grand Theft Auto, you know what I did in the past few months?
Yeah.
I went and replayed Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
How was that?
On the PS2.
I feel like it probably sucked.
After a shaky start, I found myself enjoying it quite a bit, but in the exact, like, all of my memories held up where I was like in my memory, the combat was extremely difficult because it was so janky, and that made the game hard to play. And that was accurate, but I think I forgot
but you're not
how
a kid
much
anymore, so you're fine at doing
it. No, yes, but also like I forgot. I know it's stupid because the game, like, in my memory, it was always like, it's kind of weird that they're called Grand Theft Auto because they're really like about crime and murder than specifically just the car stuff.
Right,
but actually, in terms of like
minute to minute,
of gross time spent, it is way more of a driving game, and the driving is still totally fun. And
it's a big open world. You're stealing cars all the time. It's just not part of the story. Usually.
Yeah, big open world. I now like. I appreciate all the, it's like
all the humor.
Of course, I appreciate. Actually, there is some humor that I appreciate now because actually, some of the humor in Vice City is slightly understated in like stuff that I didn't get at the time. Like, there's this radio ad constantly for a play called "In the Future There Will Be Robots," and I didn't get what the joke was, and now I just understand it's because all 80s media just had robots in it all of a sudden for no fucking reason. Like, even Rocky IV, his fucking like cousin has a robot butler or something.
God, you know what? I will never forget, as make fun of, as much as I can make fun of people really liking Grand Theft Auto, like the same way that people like Skyrim. Another game that I make fun of people for liking too much. I don't think I'll ever get over the fucking talk radio in Grand Theft Auto 3.
I know.
And how they never brought it back.
Well, yeah, I mean, what they now I can appreciate what they actually did was they spread the talk. Like, they spread the humor across all of the radio stations, actually, is what they did.
But I want a talk radio station. I want you to do both.
Oh, they had
was
one.
It Chatterbox FM? Was that what it was?
Yeah, Chatterbox. It had Laszlo.
Bring Laszlo back.
They did, but remember, Laszlo had the one joke where he's like, I'm your host, Laszlo, because I got kicked off the rock station. And so then Vice City takes place 20 years in the past. So that's when he just started at the rock station.
Right.
And like, there's like the old rock station DJ calls up to like complain about him, be like, they fucking fired me, you're a piece of shit. And he's like, Laszlo's like, hey man, this is rock and roll, it comes and it goes, and it just so happens, we're going in a different direction. It happens to be a Laszlo direction. And he's like, they're not going in a different direction, they're going in a cheaper direction, you moron.
I never really played Vice City. I rented it from Blockbuster one time.
I did not, I didn't appreciate it at the time as much as I could have.
I didn't appreciate it in the way that I didn't like it very much, and so I only ever rented it one time for the Blockbuster. Right. So I never got to really experience it.
That was the first one where they had licensed music on the soundtrack, and it's funny how my memory of the time was I thought that was lame. Like, it was, even though the music in 3 wasn't that good, it was cool that they made original music. And it's like, it's so indefensible because it's like every song on the Vice City soundtrack is like one of the best songs from the 80s. Yeah. So it's like, it's just a nonstop train of incredible songs.
The
soundtrack for that game was like 10 CDs or something.
Wow, that's nuts. But anyway, yeah, I loved Chatterbox FM as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably better than anything that was in Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5. That's not true. That
Possibly.
Can't be true. I liked 4. I liked 5 too. I just liked it for a while I was playing it, and then I got over it.
Uh-huh. That's basically Grand Theft Auto,
and I wasn't
right?
like, what if there was a shitty online version of this that didn't have any of the stuff that I liked that I could play for 12 years, or however many years.
But hang on though, I'm gonna get to pump tons and tons of money into it over the course of that time, right?
I wish it was a really expensive, really shitty version of this game. I have been, by the way, wanting to figure out what's going on in Grand Theft Auto Online for years.
I know.
And I've brought this up. I'm sure you remember all the times that I've said, hey, we should do like a big Grand Theft Auto 5 stream so we figure out what the fuck is going on in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well, I think it is one of those things where like that not okay, I know we have a very on and off relationship with caring about this, but that was like a giant bomb thing they did where they
this is the thing.
Many years after Grand Theft Auto Online came out, they did a let's finally figure out what the hell GTA Online is about series.
I would never have known that if you didn't tell me.
Oh, sorry.
We have news stories.
Oh my God. Damn, I wanted to just say some games that I've been playing and then leave.
Okay.
I thought we already did news.
Well, I've been playing Palworld and I've been playing Grounded.
Nice. Oh yeah. Wait, I got my daughter Grounded for Christmas, and she really likes it. Not as much as Minecraft, but it has been fucking incredible to have
a game that isn't Minecraft.
A game that isn't Minecraft to play. And even like the second or third time we played it, after a while she kind of went like, I'm kind of bored of this game. And I was like, what the fuck? It's been 2 minutes. And then I swear to God, switched over to playing Minecraft because she's like on the Xbox One, and she's like, I've never played Minecraft on the Xbox before. Just like, first of all, yes, you have. Second of all, who gives a shit?
Yeah. And
the same Minecraft, literally.
Now, you were playing Grounded earlier tonight when we started playing together.
That's
How
correct.
did you get her back on Minecraft or back on Grounded? Did you just go? Did she just go? Oh, Grounded is something different. Or did you
just asked if we could play Grounded, and I think she's aware that I'm not interested in playing Minecraft anymore. So I think maybe she was just interested in playing Grounded, but she also might have known that if she had been like, what about Minecraft? I might have been like, nah.
Yeah, fair. But I mean,
because like honestly, it's gotten to the point though, like now sometimes when I play Minecraft with her, it's like I almost go catatonic it's like my brain stops functioning. It's like I don't even like walk around the world. Like I just sit there and she's like, how come you're not playing? And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm good, man.
6,500 hours of Minecraft.
I'm fucking Bill Murray 2,000 years into Groundhog Day and I'm good. I don't need to punch any more trees.
What is it about a game like Grounded, which is unequivocally, objectively, scientifically more interesting than Minecraft in 2024? You know, like maybe, you know, I'm not taking arguments in a vacuum here. I'm living in 2024, and it is just a fact that Grounded is more interesting.
Well, it's the appeal to childlike, imaginative, creative play that Minecraft facilitates. The Lego buildy blockness of it all.
But you don't think the Grounded has some of that, and also big cool bugs and stuff?
Well, yeah, that's why she liked building the house with me.
Well, I just mean how
that was the most fun she had was when we built that we built like a 5-story house, and she was like, I can't fucking believe this house.
Yeah, it's a cool house.
Believe this?
It's a way cooler
Do you think
house
Uncle
than a Minecraft
Keith will believe that we built this whole thing? And I'm like, yeah, I think he will.
I was impressed by it. I've never built anything like that in Grounded.
Yeah, that's the thing is I never have any building ambitions in these games, so she helps with that.
Yeah, but hey, and she's gonna be really excited when she starts building stuff out of clay.
Ooh,
there's clay. You can harvest clay and build clay houses.
We've got some clay.
But I just mean, what do you think happens where she plays that game, which is unequivocally more interesting, and goes immediately, I'm bored. Let's play Minecraft, a game that is somehow not boring to me.
I don't know. I might just be one of those fuzzy happy place kind of things. And also part of the hook in Minecraft that she really likes is just the randomization of it. She loves that she can just start a new world and just have a completely randomized thing. And it drives, I mean, obviously I like that part of Minecraft, but it drives me crazy because the thing she always wants to do is start a brand new world. And the thing I always want to do is continue a world we've already created, because I'm like, no, I've played the first hour of a Minecraft world 1,000,000 times.
Right.
I've never finished the game.
Right.
I've played 5,000 hours of Minecraft. I've never like killed the Ender Dragon or whatever. That's not even like the final boss anymore.
And you know, and like, also there's like, you could just keep going left. You'll find new Minecraft. Like you don't have to start from the beginning. You can just go somewhere else.
Yeah, actually, that moment when she switched from Grounded to Minecraft when we were playing, what happened before was she was like, hey, could I start a new Grounded world and we could play on that? And I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, if you want to, we can do that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the exact same world. It's not going to be like randomized. And she was like, oh, like
there is something funny about
the scope of Grounded contracted considerably in her mind. I think
there is something funny because it's an illusion, right? Right. So in Minecraft, you theoretically have an infinite world. It's an infinite world full of the same 9 things repeated in different patterns, and then it's only the idea of it being new that she likes, because it's she doesn't really experience any of it. She'll play for a few hours and then start a new one, and so it's like functionally unimportant that it's new.
Yeah, I know.
Versus Grounded, which actually has like a huge map to explore, full of a bunch of new and interesting things, but because it's not theoretically infinite, it feels smaller, which is like,
and I love what Grounded does. It's a little bit more artificial in its crafting system. You know, Minecraft has a flat crafting system in that, like, if you've got the ingredients, you can make it. But in Grounded, you have to unlock recipes over time, either by, I don't know, whatever. There's a few different ways. I can't keep track of them all. There's like leveling up, and there's also buying raw science, and you can analyze ingredients.
To be fair, most of the ingredients, the way that you unlock the recipes is just by analyzing an ingredient that you have. So there's just an added step of
Right.
taking the material to the machine to analyze it, and then it gives you all of the things that it makes. There
I
is
think, I there's some other way to
There
get them. I
is.
think it's like you get them as you level up, and sometimes if you're like analyzing, if you're gathering of materials and analyzing of them, if you've like really gone ahead of like of your game level with that, sometimes you'll level up and it'll just be like no new recipes unlocked because like
Yeah.
you've already gotten those recipes.
Yeah, you can unlock things with science. Also, like there's a whole
Yeah.
building mechanic. Like you can unlock building more things with from the science machine. Uh, it gives you the parts to build like second stories, stuff like that.
Hey Keith, remember in November when I told you I bought a racing wheel?
Yeah, I've been seeing you playing iRacing, whatever, constantly because you have
Yeah,
Discord set up to tell me what game you're playing.
yeah. I bought that racing wheel in November, and like this past week or two was like the first time since then that I didn't use the racing wheel every single day.
Wow, that's
So at least I
insane.
got my money's worth.
You totally did. Congratulations on getting your. I think it's great whenever
Thank
someone
you.
can get their money's worth.
Thank you.
I think that's great.
I know, cause listen, I know what people think when you tell them you bought a racing wheel. They say there's a purchase that won't make its
Yeah.
price back.
'Cause they can't
There goes a
even-
waste of money.
They can't fucking imagine that someone out there actually wants to play a racing game.
Right?
That's
yeah,
their
I mean,
that's their problem.
that's what I'm saying.
I would if I got a flight stick, I would get my money out of that. I would.
I got a fucking sticky shift down here.
Nice. So you've been enjoying you got into cars by getting car recommended videos on YouTube.
Well, I mean,
This is true. You
there's-
cannot argue this.
well, you're right that is what jump started my current car
But
phase.
I don't like it that
remember-
you're right. You're right,
but-
but I don't like it.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Hang
okay,
on.
okay.
But it's you can't deny that there is a number of things in my past that I've always liked racing games. There
Sure.
was that period of time where I was watching Top Gear, and then there was some other YouTube car channel I was watching for a while and then stopped and then completely forgot that I ever did that. And then I had a racing wheel on my 360 for playing Forza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So don't fucking act like this
no.
is
Sorry,
out of left field.
I'm not making fun of the racing wheel in the car games. I'm making fun of just purely getting into actual cars via car YouTube.
They're good videos, Brent.
Who's Brent?
There's, I think the name was Brent, but there's like, I don't know, there's some meme where like someone on Twitter, would be like, send me dog pics, I'll rate the dogs. And then he would be like, that's a good dog. And someone complained, like, all you ever say is the dog is good. You say all the dogs are good. It's like, they're good dogs, Brent.
I vaguely do remember this actually.
I got it. Oh, yeah. In F1, I was into F1 for a while. So I started. The reason I got the racing wheel was because I got into F1 2020, which was the F1 game I already owned. I played that for a while. Then I went to Dirt 5. I tried some of the new Forza, but I didn't like it so much. And also it had this weird glitch on my computer where just sometimes the frame rate would drop to like not double digits. Well, but like, 10, 15 frames per second max. And I'd have to like close the whole game and relaunch it.
Damn.
But then I got into iRacing and it's hard, but I'm enjoying it. It's racing in cars.
Why? What about it is hard?
It's they try to make it realistic to drive the cars. And
Sure.
iRacing's whole thing is they take it very seriously. Of course, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't refer to iRacing as a game without realizing, because as we all know, it's not a game. It's a motorsport racing simulation.
Right. Yes.
So you've got a license of different classes that designate which type of cars you can drive. You start out in rookies. You have to work your way up to class D, then C, then B. Won't tell you what comes after that, but it's very exciting.
A?
It is A, yeah.
Sick.
And I think iRacing's kind of claim to fame, I guess. Well, other than the fact their whole thing is like all the cars and tracks in the game are 100% real and they're all fucking laser scanned and whatever to be super realistic. I guess I haven't done online racing sim stuff before this. I always played single player, but I guess like racing sims like Forza are notorious for the fact that multiplayer racing is interminable because like no one takes it seriously. You know, it's like the moment they're not in first, they'll just ram everyone else's car off the road or whatever and like drive backwards on the tracks and
Who
stuff.
Who does this?
Like in like other players in racing sims, like online racing sims, you know, where it's like, you know, in real life, you would never, well, okay, unless it was NASCAR, you wouldn't like ram your car into another car just because you're mad at that person, because that's like thousands or millions of dollars of damage, and also you might die. And the way iRacing tries to like impose this, like a facsimile of this, is they have a safety rating where it's just like your license class is determined by your safety rating. So you can't drive the best cars unless you can drive without crashing into people all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And you get docked big safety points for crashing into people. Currently, part of why I've drifted away from the game is I'm on kind of like a bad safety streak. My rating's going down. I'm on the verge of losing my C license and going back to D. I just can't handle that, Keith. I'll be fucking crushed. And I know what you're thinking. There aren't even any Class C leagues that I'm participating in. But that's not the point.
That's not the point.
It makes my fucking rating yellow colored so everyone can see that I have a yellow license.
That's embarrassing.
I don't want to be one of these fucking orange
Class
chumps.
D license.
Exactly. I don't want that. Been driving a lot of Miatas in iRacing. It's been fun.
Hey, who doesn't love a Miata?
And then I was one of the first.
Anyone who doesn't like a Miata
Get the fuck
is
out.
a misogynist.
Thank you. And that's my point.
Yes.
One of the first tracks I played in iRacing was called Lime Rock Park. And as I was like waiting for it to load or something, I looked over and there was like information and it said like Lakeville, Connecticut. I was like, hey, that's kind of close. I went to their website and they were like, hey, we totally have track days for all levels of skill. You can take out your own car on the track, or we have an array of track ready Miatas for rent.
Wow.
And I'm like, yo, who wants to go drive Miatas in Lime Rock with me?
I'll drive a Miata in Lime Rock.
Maybe we should drive a Miata in Lime Rock.
Miatas, they're that kind of car that like shitty macho car dudes are like, Miatas are for chicks. Only girls like Miatas. And so everyone else is not a misogynist or a chick because they are chick cars.
Well, it's like
but they're awesome cars.
They are awesome, yeah. And yeah, they're small, I think they were kind of made. It's weird because like they'll never say this. Like they just say like, we just tried to make a cool sports car and we did. But I think they were really trying to make one that would appeal to women.
I believe that they're inspired by old British roadsters.
Yeah, So, they definitely are.
And so they look like a British roadster, but slightly Japanese.
Which are pretty fucking gay.
They're extremely gay. They just look like
oh my god, those fucking old Mercedes. They're fucking those aren't.
No, those
not
are not British roadsters.
Those old Jaguars. Sorry, let's go back.
Yeah.
Those Jaguars, they're flaming.
Yeah. But
anyways, I bet Mazda would never admit. They would just say that this was to bring the Miata's name in line with their their line
Like, look
wide
at
naming
this.
scheme, but they're not even called Miatas anymore. They're called MX5s now.
Look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this 1963 MGB.
MGB.
Look at this. No,
MGB.
I linked it to you. That's a fucking. That's
Oh, yeah.
90% of the way to a Miata.
Yeah.
And so it's like that, but like a little sportier and a little
That
Japanese.
thing. What company is this thing from?
MGB, I think.
The company is called
Yeah.
MGB? Like Motorworks Great Britain?
Yeah, I think so.
That can't be real.
It's MGB. Oh, it's manufactured by the British Motor Corporation. The MGB is the model, not the make.
And you know what else? Okay. I kind of screwed myself a little bit with this thing, but there's somebody for like $20, someone sells a Steam VR plugin that will let you plug your PSVR into your computer and use it. So then I was doing iRacing in VR.
Look at these. These are great. I love these. Sorry, more.
It's just yellow now.
It's a slightly different. It's like a 7-year newer model, but
it's a mustard.
Yeah, very mustard. Great color.
Speaking of sick cars, you know what I saw yesterday? I saw. No, wait for it.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
It was a Dodge Challenger painted to look exactly
like a spike protein,
like Lightning McQueen from Cars. It was incredible. Rusty's logo. We've got the Rusty's logo, the big lightning bolt. Oh, it was very good.
You said it was a Dodge Challenger?
Dodge Challenger, which is a very sick car.
But not the kind of car that Lightning
own.
McQueen is.
No, but it was very convincing.
Okay. Dodge Challenger, they're a little bit like an AC/DC song for me.
Oh, but you are exactly correct.
Yeah.
But I just think that's a good thing. Like, you just hit the nail on the head. But like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Dodge Challenger, sadly, pour one out, going out of production this year.
I would like to turn the volume down a little bit on the Dodge Challenger and introduce you to the Honda Prelude, my favorite car.
What? The Honda Prelude?
Yeah.
Prelude to what?
Prelude
I hate
to
car
me having a
names.
great
They're all
time.
so bad. Dodge Challenger. That's
the Prelude
a
was
car
around,
name.
The Prelude was around for a long time, so they have a lot of different body styles.
Definitely.
But the early 90s to like 2001. There's two different. There's the older, light the retractable headlights, which I love. Early 90s one, and then there's the sort of sleek late 90s to 2001 ish one. I like both of those.
What do we know or remember why they outlawed pop-up headlights?
They did not outlaw them.
They did.
I don't think they did.
That's why they don't exist anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Are pop-up headlights illegal?
They are. I mean, not like you can still drive old
No, they're
cars.
not. They're not illegal.
They're not illegal, but you can't make a new car that has pop-up headlights.
You can. It's just that there's guidelines and they're hard to follow, so they just don't.
Huh. Well, that's fucking lame. Follow the guidelines. Mazda, the fuck.
Technically, it's not illegal to have pop-up headlights in a car. Pop-up headlights are allowed if they comply with the European laws. The Aries Panther has pop-up headlights. It's just incredibly difficult to achieve this. Pop-up headlights further have a high susceptibility to malfunction problems. They can't open or close if the car gets stuck or if water spills into the battery. There's also speculation that a return to pop-up headlights production won't increase a car company's revenue. So they're just like, they introduced regulation that makes it harder to design, and they don't add any value. So it's just cheaper to not do them. So then they just go, well, they're banned, which is not really true.
Interesting.
I wish that this article said what the exact thing was.
What thing?
The whatever the law is, the European
Show me
regulation.
A picture of the Honda Prelude you're talking about.
Okay.
Because, like, I recognize the name, but I don't recognize it being associated with anything I'd want to drive.
It's just like a normal
Isn't it
ass
like a
car.
minivan?
No, it's a two-door sedan.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh. The fuck was I thinking about?
I don't know.
That is a cool looking car.
It's a very achievable favorite car.
Prelude to what?
Prelude to having a good time. I like it in white.
There you go.
I've always liked it in white. My second car was a Honda Del Sol. Do you remember that?
I sort of, but I need you to show me a picture, and then I'll be like, yeah. Wasn't it red?
It was black. It was black.
Oh, okay. What was the red one? What was the Blade Runner?
Oh, that was the Buick Riata. My actual real favorite car still. Actually, the Buick Riata, the one with the computer inside.
A green monochrome, like phosphor.
Speaking of,
CRT in the console.
Touchscreen.
Pop up headlights.
1989. Look at this. Look at this fucking thing. I'm gonna buy one of these.
Dude.
I'm gonna get another one of these. They're not that expensive still.
Hard to imagine why.
They're great cars. This is a luxury vehicle.
This looks sick, honestly.
Here's one where the touchscreen's half working. Look at this.
Sure.
Look at this car. Look at this fucking car. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my! Look at this red leather
Keith,
wall to wall.
That's obscene. You can't just paste that. You have fucking
in 1988 and 1989.
Put an NSFW blur filter on that.
They made these cars for 5 years. 1988 and 89. It had the touchscreen in the center console, but it scared people. They were so they took it out. They took it out and they ran it with an electronic dashboard, but no touchscreen from 90 to 92.
It scared people. Honestly, that sounds like some incredible spin. It's not that it was just like
it worked. It was awesome. Mine totally worked.
Well, I just imagine it was like highly expensive for something that a series of analog buttons could do, probably.
Maybe. Do you ever had it had the RPM gauge, and so you could drive, and the fucking thing would like go like brr, brr, with the.
Oh no, I didn't.
This is not a GIF, obviously, but this thing here.
Oh man, what the hell?
That's sick. This car was awesome.
Yeah, undeniable.
I'm gonna get another one of these. They're like $5,000. Like you can $5,000 to $10,000. You can get one of these.
Hey, well, you sent me the Shadow Generations thing.
Yeah, Shadow Generations.
I missed that it's Sonic Cross Shadow.
Right.
Generations.
Yes.
Which is whatever, but it's just
a lot of people seem to have missed that. I agree.
It's not as snappy as Shadow Generations. Just call it that.
Yeah, I agree. I do like that it is the woke mind virus got to Shadow. Shadow's lib now. Yeah. I mean, just watch it. It's just like what if like, you know, the tone of the Lego games? What if they did that to like Sonic Adventure 2? And it's just like the that's what it seemed like to me, the trailer. It's like a cartoony pantomime of the Shadow character. You know, like he is a shadow of Shadow. He's like a guy putting on a Shadow costume and playing a villain. Like he's just like,
is he no longer all of him?
I think that this may be only a part of him.
Jesus. Is it too much to hope for, like, oh wait, the I was gonna say like maybe they'll put in like ROM hacks of old Sonic games with Shadow in them, but there wasn't even like pixel art stuff in Sonic
maybe I'm wrong.
Generations.
I'm rewatching this and I'm like, I guess he does have the attitude that he should have.
Shattitude.
My memory of watching it the first time, I was like, they've like turned it into a greatest hits album and sort of removed sort of his kind of personality from this. But I don't know. I may be wrong about that.
Yeah, Sonic Generations had a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah, that's part of it. I was like,
sorry, is it okay if I move on from this?
Yeah, do you have nothing else to say about the thing we're known for?
Oh, well, first of all, no, I mean, I can't even really guess at what this would be. Whatever, I'll just play whatever fucking Sonic game they make. I don't fucking care.
I think it's just a Sonic Generations expansion that adds more Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow stuff.
Sonic Generations is like 20 years old now.
It is not. It is 12 years old.
13 years old.
I thought it was 2011. So 13, yeah.
Yeah. Well, 12. All right. 12 and a half. Okay, but yeah, I'm seeing here now the website for the game is just shadowgenerations.com.
Okay.
So. But yeah, I mean, of course, because of this, just like with the release of the previous Sonic Generations game, for this Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, we will be doing a full Let's Play of all the Sonic and Shadow games that have been released up to this date. And
we've been talking, no joke, we've been talking about redoing the Let's Play 20 Years of Sonic for now 4 years?
4 years. 4 years.
And we just either have to do it or never talk about it again.
I'm closer to doing it than never talking about it.
But because I can't even get you to come over my house and do a Let's Watch of the Sonic movies.
Oh my God. Listen, all I'm saying is that now that I'm looking at this Sonic Generations game, I can just imagine like being 75, living in a cabin in the woods. I'm splitting firewood. I hear footsteps behind me. I turn. It's my cousin.
There's a new Sonic game.
There's a new Sonic Generations.
We have to play Sonic.
And I'm like, how did you find me?
Tails Generations.
We have to. They just released Big the Cat Generations. We have to go. Dude, okay. I actually did start thinking about this. Like the Big the Cat campaign from Sonic Adventure 1. Like where he just goes to the different levels of Sonic Adventure, but it's fishing this time.
Yeah.
Just do that for all Sonic games. Like, here's Big the Cat fishing in the first level of Sonic Heroes. Here's Big the Cat fishing in the space, the space station from Sonic Colors.
Finally, we find out why Big the Cat was in the city in City Escape. He was fishing there.
Yes! Dude!
He was fishing there.
It's all right there.
And it still plays the song the whole time you're fishing.
What's the song?
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant the Big the Cat.
Got nowhere to go, gotta follow my rainbow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's right.
That was a different... You elongated it too much.
I was trying to keep up with the desync that you introduced by singing. Oh, you started singing along with me, but the lag made it sound like you came in way off time, so I was just matching up with you. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'm excited for that. Whatever.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's like excited would be.
I'll say
strong.
this. It's very interesting that they've been putting out a lot of Sonic games recently.
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
Interesting.
I mean, it's Shadow. Listen, if nothing else, the title Shadow Generations is very funny. And hey,
yeah.
What? Yeah, I'm happy to laugh at it.
It is kind of funny to pretend like they've been making games with Shadow in them.
Yeah, like he's in the same league.
Which generate? You mean Sonic Shadow Generation?
Yeah, all of them. Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic 06.
Yeah, all of them. Sonic 06, Shadow was in that game twice. There was regular Shadow and then Old Man Shadow without a mouth.
Old Man Shadow without a mouth. Yes.
Do you have any other games you've been playing?
Because Alan Wake 2 came out and has been receiving such praise.
It has.
I was thinking I'll play through Alan Wake 2. And since it's been so long and since Cheryl hasn't seen the original, I figured...
classic. You don't have to explain it. I already knew. As soon as you said Alan Wake 2, I knew you were playing Alan Wake 1 instead.
That's fine, you know? But hey, you know what? I was pleasantly surprised by the story of Alan Wake. I remembered the storytelling being good, but I was kind of prepared to go back and be like, this is pretty cruddy,
it's just a slowly delivered Stephen King book over a medium good video game, right?
Yeah, basically. I'm sure you remember, I feel like that game had too much walking around in dark woods shooting random shadow people.
Yeah,
and
that's why I never finished it, because it was too much of
that.
And not because it was not fun, which it wasn't, but because it was too scary.
Oh, see, it definitely feels less scary this time, I think.
For me, it's interesting because I'm so susceptible to the scariness. It's almost not like it's actively scaring me, but it just like puts me in a bad mood have that like negative, that like they're trying to make me scared. It's just emotionally exhausting. So at the same time, I can feel both scared and bored. So I'm like, I don't like that it's trying to scare me emotionally, and also the game isn't fun.
Even
it's the Silent Hill emotion.
There's like, I forgot there's even like little side characters that pop up for a scene or two that are funny. There's like an old rocker guy in the diner who gets shit from his buddy because he always wants to play Coconut on the jukebox. And so he does, and then you can, whenever you want, listen to Coconut from the main menu. You can just go to music and listen to Lime in the Coconut.
That's really funny.
And the character models look like shit, which shouldn't be surprising. The game's like 15 years old or something.
Thank God they make games with all the money and fidelity.
I know, right? But actually, like, the rest of the game, the visuals held up surprisingly well. Like, especially they do this effect sometimes when you're going through like the woods at night, where they do this like where it's like the forest is alive with all the, like, every branch on the trees is moving and there's like things swirling around and it looks very cool. And I was like, dang, this still looks good. And Barry's fun. Cheryl loves Barry.
Who's Barry?
Barry is Alan Wake's neurotic manager who seems slightly based on like Joe Pesci.
Sure. Yeah.
And we haven't gotten to the part yet, but of course everyone remembers the part where Barry wraps himself in Christmas tree lights in order to stave off the darkness.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I did not know about that.
Oh, I guess you didn't get that far. No.
Yeah, it's a shame because I liked everything that I experienced of the story because I like Stephen King, and it is just it's closer. I mean, it rips off Stephen King more than Palworld rips off Pokemon. You know, it's true. It's true.
It is okay. It's a little bit true. You're right.
And which again, not a bad thing. Stephen King can be ripped off. It's fine. He'll live.
The first two words in the script for Alan Wake are Stephen King.
Yes, it is. They have to lampshade it because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
It's so much like Stephen King that people can't even decide which Stephen King book it most closely rips off because it rips off multiple. It's not just some Stephen King book. It's Stephen King's most well-trod territory, which is terrifying things happening to a writer. Is it like The Dark Half? Is it like Duma Key?
I haven't read Doom.
Doom
I
Key
actually
is
haven't
like
read the Dark Half either.
the Dark Half. Well, I'll tell you this.
Or is it more like Bag of Bones?
I'll tell you what it is. What the Dark Half is. The Dark Half
I know
is
what it
about
is.
an author. Okay, well, I'll tell
No, I
the
know.
listeners then. The Dark Half is a book about an author who goes to a cabin in the woods with his wife, but he finds that the disturbing things that he writes about in his book are happening there in reality.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I didn't know. Well, I didn't know that the Dark Half involved a man going to a cabin with his wife. That changes everything.
I'm almost positive that's true.
There's Alan Wake is divided into episodes, like a TV show. But the episodes are wildly uneven in their length. But it has a totally killer end to the first episode when what is it, like Alan has to get back to the cabin because he's worried about his wife, and so he gets a ride from somebody back to the cabin, and they're like, we're on the cabin out on Cauldron Lake, and they're like, there is no cabin out on Cauldron Lake. And they pull up to the lake, and there's no island. It's just an empty lake, and the music swells, and you're like, yeah, what will happen next? Alan Wake.
I may be confusing the Dark Half with Doom Key, which is like the same plot, but it's an artist who's hanging out at the Florida Keys. He goes on vacation for the Florida Keys, and the stuff that he draws starts happening in real life.
That is a lot like the Dark Half.
It is. And it's also a lot like
Alan Wake.
Well, what's the other one? What is the one that you Bag of Bones? What is the
Bag of Bones? That one,
I haven't read that
maybe
one.
not. I think it's like he's probably a writer because every Stephen King protagonist is a writer.
In the 90s, especially, he really couldn't.
He has like a dead
it.
wife or something.
Bag of Bones focuses on an author whose severe writer's block and delusions at an isolated lake house 4 years after the death of his wife.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
And even to the extent that like the primary antagonist by the end of the book is a primordial amorphous darkness. Stephen King has a wheelhouse.
He has a wheelhouse.
And Alan Wake is in it.
Look, there's I mean, there's something to be said for like fucking polishing the same stone. I'm making the smoothest stone of all time.
Though to that end, I am now thinking of like, I don't know how I came upon this, but I think I remember seeing clips of some woman on YouTube who's like a rock tumbler. And she's always tumbling rocks all the time and polishing all these rocks.
This is what Stephen King does.
What are you doing with all these polished rocks? You must run out of space eventually.
Well, what Stephen King does is he sells them. So I think that she probably does that too. Yeah, people like to buy pretty rocks.
The weird thing about the rock polishing to me is like the strange.
Is this metaphor working for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just thinking about actual rock polishing.
Right.
I'm not that familiar with it. That's why these clips were kind of new to me. And I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It produces this like weird slag, this like liquid grit, awful.
Because you put in rocks and water into a tumbler, and then you let it go for 3 weeks, and the rocks pulverize each other and take off the layer of, it's basically like making, it's like, you go to a riverbed and all the stones are smooth, but you do it over the course of 3 weeks instead of over the course of hundreds of years. And so the slag is just like little tiny bits of rock powder that's been ground off by the tumbling stones mixed with the water. I had a rock tumbler when I was like 8 or 9 because I really wanted one.
You would have, you fucking
and it
nerd.
didn't work. I think we just didn't have the patience for it.
Oh yeah,
it was really loud.
Would you like hand crank?
No, we plugged it in. We plugged it in. Remember the barn? Oh, the Nightmare Barn. Everybody knows the Nightmare Barn.
Yes, we all remember the Nightmare Barn.
Because it's so loud. It's a loud motor because it's cheap, and it's on 24/7. And so we put it in the barn. And I don't remember when we checked back, but I have a feeling that maybe we just didn't give it long enough because we checked back and it hadn't really worked. And then we gave up.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess
I
this
think
work.
my mom just didn't have the fortitude to stick with it on that one.
Yeah, I'm
me.
sure she didn't give a shit about it, and was
she
just doing
bought
this
me
for
the
you.
rock tumbler as a gift.
Oh, okay.
So you'd think that she would try and get it to work.
I would think that.
But no, she did not.
Bummer.
Yeah. Anyway, so I never had tumbled rocks as a kid. That's my one regret.
Well, let no one say you didn't lead a charmed life.
Well, what do you got? Any other games you've been playing?
Well, yeah. I there is one other game. I love Final Fantasy VII and its associated remake, and my good friend and roommate Cheryl also likes Final Fantasy a lot, but she likes the fandom of Final Fantasy VII.
What does that mean?
Specifically around the dumb stuff. Like, they introduced a bunch of like later sequels and prequels that sucked shit.
To Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. But Cheryl was like introduced to these all at the same time. So that to her, it's like, oh, the shitty prequels and sequels are like the whole thing. So she likes Crisis Core, which is the prequel that was on PSP, and I played it on PSP and I hated it. And they just put out last year a remake of the Crisis Core PSP game. So I got it for Cheryl for Christmas, for me to play and for her to watch me play.
Why do you attract people that just want to watch you play games?
Because I don't want to watch them play games.
I guess that's fair, but you could play together, or they could play on their own time without you around.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened was I just assumed I would play because I just knew her and knew that she wouldn't want to play this type of game. And I think she was like, oh, I thought I was going to play. And then I explained to her that it's like an action hack and slash game. And she was like, oh, no, you can play it.
Okay.
And it actually was like kind of really hard. For the first half of the game, I begrudgingly had to admit I was enjoying it more than I expected and was liking it more. But then it's like the game is like 50% too long. It completely outstays its welcome, and I'm now sick of it. We got to the very end, and I thought we were like a day from finishing it, and I haven't even played it in almost 3 weeks now.
Damn.
But FF7 Remake 2 comes out this month, and I'm stoked.
Final Fantasy VII. What is it called?
It's the next Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't care.
Is it called like Reborn? What is it?
It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Rebirth. The last one was Remake. This one's Rebirth. Yeah.
And the Crisis Core remake is Reunion.
Yeah. Just call it Remake Part 2. I don't get it.
Yeah. Like you already did the obnoxiously blunt force trauma move of calling it Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Just stick with that.
With it. Hey, here's a funny article that I saw that has to do with what you're talking about. This is from IGN. Final Fantasy VI Remake would take about 20 years to make, original director says. And I think that's so funny. That's such a funny thing to do. Because he's like, oh, obviously people are asking. His name is Yoshinori Kitase, by the way. People have been asking, hey, are you going to do a remake of Final Fantasy VI like they've been doing Final Fantasy VII? And he's like, that would take 20 years.
That is fucking up there, like, in terms of like all time, like, game developer troll quotes with Yu Suzuki saying that after Shenmue 3 comes out, like what's his fucking name? Ryo's story is like 30% complete or something.
Anyway, it's very funny to me. I love the idea that like the only way to remake Final Fantasy VI would be to do an exacting, minute by minute remake, but with a massive budget.
I don't know
la
what
Final
that
Fantasy
means.
VII. Like it was just like Final Fantasy VI is so much bigger than Final Fantasy VII that it would take even longer to do. Which I don't know. Maybe the scope of it. I don't know.
I haven't really played 6. Like I never got that far into it, but I just can't imagine how that could be possible. Like if you've played FF7 Remake and seen the fucking like the scale of the visuals that they had to produce to make that game, there's just no chance that FF6 needs more.
This is funny. He says the difficulty behind making Final Fantasy VI was elaborated on by Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi, who said the original game's pixel art and 2D format would make it much more complicated to redo, demanding a complete overhaul of the story and graphics. Like, are you telling me they didn't have to completely overhaul the Final Fantasy VII graphics? It's like, if anything, you're at an advantage working with pixel art where the actual concept of what was intended is more apparent.
Or
because early 3D, it looks like ass. So it doesn't have anything to do with what the Final Fantasy VII remake assets look like. But
technically true, though, 7 had the pre-rendered background, so some of them were actually pretty detailed.
Okay, that's fair, I guess.
But that, to me, it's like, that makes it easier because you can kind of, like, you don't have to worry about, like, should we replicate this exactly or should we do our own thing? It's like, well, the whole game would have to be your own thing. The real answer is
it's just a game. It's just a game. It's not. They don't take 20 years to make. They don't.
The real fucking answer is Final Fantasy VII Remake was absurdly expensive, and it was able to be a worthwhile venture because that's an extremely popular game. And Final Fantasy VI fans they love Final Fantasy VI so much, and that you cannot tell them. They cannot hear that not enough people like Final Fantasy VI to care about a remake because it will destroy them and they will refuse to listen, but it is the God's honest truth.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to get a Final Fantasy X remake before we get 6 or 8.
We got a remaster.
No, it's not enough. It's 2024. We can have a remake and a remaster and a second remaster.
Hey, in 2024, you can remaster The Last of Us Part 2, a game that could not by any reasonable metric be improved upon graphically.
There's the joke, years ago before Tom Holland was Superman or Spider-Man for many years was, they'll start remaking Spider-Man before the Spider-Man that they're making is even out.
That's so funny. And that is kind of started doing that.
Yeah, basically. That's basically where they ended up getting with it. And Final Fantasy games, remakes and remasters are going to be the same thing. They're going to be remastering games that aren't even out yet.
Oh, that's good. What is there some game like that? Maybe I'm thinking of Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard, the game that represents the greatest gulf between concept and execution in video game history.
The Billy Joel of video games.
Wow. Come on, he had Piano Man.
Random shot of Billy Joel.
Yeah, no,
it reminded me of a tweet that I had where I was talking about Billy Joel and I said that there's no artist that has a bigger gulf between their best work and their worst work.
Oh, okay. I don't know his worst work. Unless it's The Entertainer.
It is. It's really close. Uptown Girl, The Entertainer. We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yeah, the problem with these is it's like conceptually they're kind of dumb, but they fucking slap though.
No, we did not. We Didn't Start the Fire does not
Uptown Girl
slap.
sucks, but it still rules.
What year did that song come out? Tell me what year that song came out in.
Uptown Girl?
Yeah.
19 1978.
1983.
I was not that far
No,
off.
this is like a 50s doo-wop throwback
Right,
in
yeah,
1983. It's so dumb. And it wasn't. It's not that good.
I kind of
And there's a
figured that
whole
was
album of it. It's a
gonna be
whole
your
album
point.
of it's a whole album of 50s doo-wop throwback.
Well,
And it's not good.
50s,
Uptown Girl, by the
know,
way, which is the best song on Uptown Girl.
oof.
Yes.
Okay, that's rough.
By a wide margin.
We 50s throwback was big in the 80s. I don't have to tell you that.
It was big in the but like, and hey, an 80s throwback is big now.
Hey man, Billy Joel was selling and people were buying, baby.
Downeaster, Alexa.
I'm sorry. Is that
It is a Billy Joel song. It's a song about sailing a boat.
wow.
Piano Man's good. People like Piano Man, right?
I today while I was working, of course Piano Man's good. It's still, its flaws are apparent. We don't have to get into it.
Anthony's song, Moving Out.
I don't know these.
Of course you know Moving Out.
Well, I had something I wanted to say, but I don't remember it anymore, which means it wasn't important. Oh, sorry, I remembered what it was. Today, while I was working, I asked Spotify to play Istanbul, Not Constantinople by They Might Be Giants.
Sure.
And then I just let the Spotify just do its like radio station thing from there on out. Played a bunch of good songs, a lot of They Might Be Giants songs, which I actually do not know a lot of their catalog, and I'm actually now a little concerned that I'm on the verge of becoming a They Might Be Giants dad.
Well, I mean, the only issue is that you didn't get into them sooner because they're fantastic. I love They Might Be Giants.
They seem pretty good.
I like Meet James Ensor. I like Particle Man. I like Mammals.
I heard Particle Man today. That was
obviously
I don't know what
Dr.
the fuck.
Worm.
Dude, I don't know what Triangle Man's fucking problem is. You
The
heard about this fucking
Triangle
guy?
Man? Yeah, Triangle Man is crazy.
Asshole.
Yeah, asshole.
There was the Mesopotamians, obviously.
Love the Mesopotamians.
I was a fan of that one.
Yeah, great.
Good.
Yeah.
And then there was also like 3 Cake songs in there for some reason.
That feels like it makes sense to
they're
me.
actually not that far.
Birdhouse in Your Soul, love that.
Yep, that was in there.
Yeah. Let's see. I know that there's stuff that
Dr. Worm.
Dr. Worm, I said that. I mentioned Dr. Worm.
I know. I was just saying it again because Dr. Worm.
I think I love Meet James Ensor. That's like one of my favorite songs. Belgium's famous painter. It's just like a half idea. It's like,
I know they do a lot of weird things that reference like historical events and stuff, but I didn't know they were so political. They also just have a bunch of songs about communism, I guess.
Oh yeah, that song Communists Have the Music.
Have the music.
There's a phenomenal later period They Might Be Giants song. Phenomenal song.
I hate to question this because we like the song, we like the premise, but is it true? Do the communists have the music?
They had a lot of music. I mean, I'll tell you a lot of what was happening in the Soviet Union during the Cold War with music was they were trying to keep American rock and roll records out.
Yeah.
And they were building their own instruments and amplifiers and stuff and trying to generate, Soviet Union music that was sort of a facsimile of Western music to pretty good effect. I mean, I don't know a lot of like 70s Soviet rock music, but what they were doing was writing and performing some of the best jazz of all time. The 60s and 70s have just phenomenal Soviet jazz music. One of my favorite YouTube channels, Funked Up East, is all like vinyl rips of kind of rare and lost Soviet jazz music. Jazz and funk and jazz fusion and electronica. It's great YouTube channel. Highly recommend Funked Up East. But I don't know if they mean literally the Soviet Union has the music. First of all, I think that the song is really funny because there's nothing about being a They Might Be Giants fan that makes you have good political opinions, which means that if you are going into that song as someone who does not like communists.
You're saying like you don't have any evidence to refute the claim.
Well, if you go into the song being an anti-communist, then you come out of the song reading it as like either as ironic, as like a joke, like satire, or as
which would really be a stretch.
It is really a stretch. I mean, you go to the YouTube comments on that video, and it is like a political war. It is like really.
My God.
It is it's deranged comment. Wars happening in the comment section of that song. It's pretty funny, pretty sad. But yeah, I think it is. I just think it's a song about about being allowed to follow your heart. That's what I think.
Yeah. A lot of songs are about that. You get right down to it. There was that Cake song about the guy who followed his heart by going the distance and going for speed.
True. Anna Ing, that's a great They Might Be Giants song.
And,
love the production on that one. It's great.
But, we do seem to be coming up on the 2:45 mark for this podcast.
Oh, that's a classic mark. Let's go through. Look, I've been trying to get to some of these other things on the thing. Let's run through these. Spec Ops: The Line will no longer be available in online stores.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about this? I know you're a Spec Ops: The Line person.
I definitely think it is of the more interesting games produced in the Xbox 360 generation.
Several partnership licenses related to the game are expiring. Players who have purchased the game can still download and play the game uninterrupted. 2K would like to thank our community of players who have supported the game, and we look forward to bringing you more offerings from our label throughout the year and beyond.
Oh, you mean the Spec Ops label?
Yeah, the Spec Ops label.
I think I have a physical copy of that one.
Anyway, Spec Ops: The Line was like it was a game. It was
trying to be like
isn't it
Heart of Darkness
that you're bombing Iraq or wherever the game took place. Where did the game take place?
It was actually in Dubai.
Dubai. Okay.
So it was this thing where you were going in. There was like a platoon of American troops who had gotten like stranded and cut off in Dubai for like weeks or months or something. And it's like you go in. It was like highly politically charged, and there was a lot of like there was American on American military violence, and also there was use of white phosphorus against native populations. There was the American soldiers getting lynched by angry mobs of people who might have been mad about white phosphorus use.
Sure.
And that kind of stuff. Interesting game. I can't just be like, oh yeah, it was good, but definitely interesting.
But what shouldn't happen is it shouldn't be delisted from online stores because some vague licensing thing ran out. I don't know how. I don't know how the business of video games sort of like got wrapped up in like licensing things that have expiration dates. Like it just seems like a bizarre oversight. But I think it's something that's gonna start happening to games. Like I think we are heading into an era of like digital games becoming rare.
Frankly, and I think Spec Ops: The Line is probably coming up on the end of this era, but they probably couldn't have foreseen the idea that it would still be available for sale in 2024. Like I think this was actually, I think that game came out
2012.
before. I think 2012.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was later than I thought.
Yeah,
So
I was
guess
pretty sure the Xbox One was out.
Because remember, like, for a good chunk of the 360 generation, like,
No,
full retail games weren't even really downloadable that much. So the idea of like, oh, there's billions of people that bought this game digitally that now won't be able to play it, like, isn't really true, because that game would have been mostly sold in physical.
Yeah, but Steam was not, like, it was not weird to do it on a computer.
Oh, wait, do I have this on Steam and not Xbox? Hang on. Shit.
Well, if you have it on Steam, you're fine, because if you own it, you can still download it and play it.
Okay.
It's just being delisted from the store.
I do have it on Steam, but it says, oh, yeah, okay. I have 33 achievements on Steam, so I must have played it on Steam.
And it was launch day, PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. But yeah, just a portent.
Yeah.
Speaking of portents, there was a little article of Sega of America laying off 61 staff, and I clicked on it because I was like, "Damn, more layoffs."
Frankly, that's a light one.
I know,
in this economy,
totally.
Are you kidding me?
Well, the reason that I saved the article again on IGN, one of the few places left that you can go to that have just a bunch of articles that are just news articles. Those websites are becoming less and less over time.
What site was that?
IGN.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Sega.
No. But I saved the article specifically because it had a pretty good list at the end of some of the more recent layoffs. Let's see. Here we go. Industry layoffs are current. This is IGN, like I said. This is from Ryan Dinsdale. Industry layoffs are currently among the worst in history, with myriad other studios of all sizes affected. Dreams Media, Molecule, Cyberpunk 2077, CG Projekt Red, F1 managers, Frontier Developments, and Assassin's Creed Ubisoft all suffered layoffs. Destiny 2 developer Bungie was also affected, causing, quote, a soul-crushing atmosphere at the studio that IGN learned about in an investigation report.
Right. Yeah. Have you been hearing about Bungie?
I have, yes. Yeah. Because they
bad.
did, and I don't mean to, this is a management issue. This has nothing to do with the people that actually are affected by decisions like these, but they did the Bungie thing of saying, we can't get the stuff done that we want to get done with this partnership. We're going to leave and do the stuff that we want to do. But the stuff that they want to do is partner with a bigger company, give up control to that company, and then keep doing what they've been doing, which is making Bungie. Making Destiny. So they put themselves in a really, really bad position for really seemingly no reason.
Yeah.
Yet again, there's a jumping ship from
they go from Activision to EA.
Microsoft.
Microsoft to Activision
to Sony.
To EA? Or to Sony.
To Sony,
right.
yeah. And, they had this whole thing about, hey, we promised that we're not going to do layoffs. And then Sony was like, if you don't lay people off, we're going to take over your board and then lay people off. And so they were like, oh, okay, I guess we have to immediately lay off people.
Yeah.
After, big quotes around have to, by the way. It's basically, we have to do that or we lose our jobs.
Right.
And we'd rather fire them all and keep our jobs.
But it's like, every time like a beloved developer gets acquired by a big publisher, and there's always that talk of like, well, they won't, as long as they're profitable, and there's as long as they remain as profitable as they are, there won't be any interference from the parent company.
Sure.
Like, I don't know if people understand that is
never true.
Like that, but that coming to an end is literally inevitable.
Sure.
Like,
right.
No one will ever maintain their profitability. So like, there will always come a time when Sony's like, listen, guys, it's time to fucking put up or shut up. Like,
right. Yeah. There's no, and there's no, it's just not the kind of capitalism that we run anymore. It was
yeah,
it was not making the people who make millions and billions of dollars enough money to let
Yeah.
things play out. Let's see how it plays out. No, we gut it, and write it off.
None of this should come as a surprise to anybody, because this is just happening in every single like corner of the economy these days. But it is, of course, just absurd that not only are these constant massive layoffs happening, but publishers are still racking up record profits. They're just not maintaining record growth.
Sure. Yeah, it is all that is I think the detail that is like, I hear it all the time, but it also feels heavily obscured, which is like, people don't understand, like, growth means growth.
Yeah, like, growth means more profit than last year.
If you make washing machines and you're really, really good at selling washing machines, eventually fewer people need washing machines and your growth slows down. Like, it's just an inevitable fact of reality that people have played enough Destiny. You can't keep getting more people to play Destiny. And not just more as in an increase, more as in an increase of an increase.
Right.
And there's just no way how long have they been making Destiny 2? You can't. The people who've played it have already played it.
I know. Yeah, it even reminds me of that thing people bring up about MLM pyramid scheme things, is that like people will get pitched on the pyramid scheme and be like, oh yeah, I get 3 friends into it, and they get 3 friends into it, and they get 3 friends into it. Right. But if you do the math, it's like after 7 levels, it's like the entire population of humanity or whatever.
Yeah. You only ever get like 4 or 5 levels, and you started on level 4.
Right.
But
it's like it's so wild to me that, like, listening to Nextlander, they are so bummed out about this constant assault of layoff news that, like, they literally said on the most recent episode that to them, they said they really want a week of good news, and to them a week of good news would be a week without a major company announcing layoffs.
Right. Yeah.
We are now at like multiple layoffs per week.
Embracer laid people off. They own a billion things. They spent Embracer. I'm sure if you've listened to a video game podcast, you've heard of Embracer. They spent 5 years slowly buying up every video game studio in the world, and then going, oops, we bought too many studios, and then firing everybody.
And that's the thing, though, is like, that in a sense was always part of their plan. It was always part of their fallback plan. And that's what's so gross about like the growth mindset of these companies and stuff, is like when they go, oops, we overexpanded, we hired like crazy until we realized we didn't have the profit to support all the people we hired. But you would ask, shouldn't you have thought about that before you hired a billion new people? But the answer is no, because when they were hiring those people, that they knew if it turned out wrong, they could just fire them. No problem. Pay a couple months of severance, and it's like there's no consequence to the people at the top of the company to run them irresponsibly.
They don't even have to be in financial danger. And this is true. Capitalism is a de facto poison. It's terrible for people. It doesn't matter how good it seems, because the road always leads here. This is where, like, the sort of like capitalist critique of we need to get things back to the way that things were. The 1950s were an aberration. It was a very specific point in time that first of all, it cannot be replicated.
unless you want to have a World War III that somehow results in the exact
Right.
end state that World
Yeah,
War II
right,
ended
sure.
in.
Yeah, a World War III that somehow America's not a major player in. And then the rest of the world gets decimated,
Or
including like China and Russia and China, which hasn't had a major war
and
in decades and decades and decades. All of a sudden,
and
they're
by
going to
the
be
way,
in a
like,
non-U.S. involved war.
the
Uh,
price of America's involvement in World War II was basically bankrupting the British Empire.
Sure,
And
yeah.
at the end of the war, we had like half of all the money in the world and half of all the manufacturing capacity in the world.
And so, sure, you want to say like let's get back to when companies didn't used to lay people off for no reason. And it's like, yeah, I guess that would be good, but it the road still leads to here. Now you don't even have to be in trouble to lay off 11,000 people.
Yeah.
Like Meta did. Meta laid off 11,000 people, and then just 2 days ago they say, hey, by the way, we're gonna spend $50 billion in stock buybacks. So they fired 11,000 people being like, hey, we're financially struggling. And then 2 days ago, they're like, not so struggling that we can't buy back $50 billion of our own stock.
Right. Though, of course, stock buybacks are not usually a thing you do when your company's doing awesome.
No, I disagree. It is. Totally is.
Oh, yeah?
It's basically a way to generate a bunch of extra money for investors.
Okay, maybe I'm just used to hearing about companies that do that as like a desperation move to try to forestall bankruptcy or something.
I feel like I feel like it's something that companies do when they have extra cash. They're like, we have a bunch of extra money, we're gonna buy a bunch of our own stock. Because they're like, we're doing so good, we want our stock because it's gonna go up.
Right.
So we want more of our stock.
Yeah. The what company?
That was Meta. That was Facebook.
Meta. What the fuck? What was I? Shit.
I was saying that Embracer, who owns Gearbox and Tomb Raider, and Crystal Dynamics and Epic. Oh no, sorry, Fortnite publisher Epic Games.
Dude, just list what they don't own. It'll be faster.
I know, yeah. Dungeons and Dragons owner Hasbro. They all laid off people recently. Embracer laid off 900 people. Epic laid off 850 people. Hasbro laid off 1,100 people. Hasbro, who we learned two things simultaneously. One, Wizards of the Coast makes up a way bigger portion of Hasbro's net profits than they would have liked to admit.
That makes a lot of sense.
And the massive success of Baldur's Gate 3, the licensed Dungeons and Dragons game, just came out and made a bajillion fucking dollars.
Yeah.
And then Hasbro goes, yeah, we're going to do more movie stuff. We're cutting. We're cutting. I can't remember the exact thing, but I saw something that was like people who worked with God, who was the developer of Baldur's Gate 3? Larian. Larian was like in a meeting with like Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro and whatever, and was like, wow, everybody that I was talking to when we were making Baldur's Gate 3, they're all gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's insane. People who, they did exactly their job. They negotiated a deal with a third-party developer and made a smash hit game.
Supernova hit.
Yeah, supernova hit. I mean, it is currently now 6 months away of a turn-based RPG in 2024. It is still like number 4 on the Steam concurrence.
This was like a genre of game that was considered dead and buried, like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
I was thinking the Will Smith guested on Nextlander like this week or last week or something.
Oh, cool.
And he was relaying this story that kind of, dovetails with all this like layoffs and stock prices and stuff thing about when he was at Maximum PC that they, they had to lay off some people or, whatever. They felt that they were in a situation that would be beneficial to lay off people. And And what happened was that because it was viewed as like a smart move to lay off redundant staff, their stock price went up. And what happened was like they then got addicted to this move, and like over the next like 4 years did like 7 more rounds of layoffs.
Who is this?
Whatever company, I think it was Future, the company, whatever company ran Maximum PC, which I think was Future.
And how are they doing now? When they fired their last employee, are their stocks still going up?
Oh, I believe they are the kings of the magazine publishing world.
I mean, hey, it is super in vogue to be firing people at a magazine.
Right.
That did not go out of style yet. Let's see, anything before we... Oh, did you see the Death Stranding 2 trailer at the Sony State of Play 2024?
I don't know that I have even heard the words Death Stranding 2.
Oh my god, that trailer was insane and insanely good.
Wait. Important.
Yeah.
If I haven't finished the first one, can I watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I also haven't finished the first one, and I watched it, and I feel fine.
Fair. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
I'm going to spoil the trailer for you, and I'm sorry. That's just the cost of doing business. You do a video game podcast. I'm sorry.
Gosh. I can't believe it.
So the trailer is so long, and it ends Kojima on the stage being like, by the way, I'm also developing a fucking a stealth espionage action game.
Sick.
So that's exciting. He's like, I don't have anything in the show, but I am doing that. And as soon as Death Stranding 2 comes out, we're really going to kick it into gear on that game. Really, really excited for that. I want to get back. I want to get back to Metal Gear. Let's get back to Metal Gear. Okay. What if this trailer? It's so long,
dude.
Yeah.
What if it's actually Metal Gear?
Oh my god. It's spelled different.
It'd be too good to be true. It's Mattel Gear.
M3T4LG
Mattel Gear cross promotional synergy.
Ooh. So the Death Stranding 2 trailer was so long, and it was really fun, and it was batshit insane, like the original Death Stranding trailers, that were so much fun and so weird. And Norman Reedus is back, and he's got no shirt on.
And he's still got Special P.
He's still got Special P. And it's so funny. There's this amazing moment of just like pure exposition where his friend like hands him like a puppet, a little puppet guy who talks. And like he's in like all stop motion. He's like a little puppet man.
Wait.
And he goes like, here, it's going to be tough out there all on your own. You better take this fucking guy with you. And then he's just this wisecracking is like, hey, I'm the little puppet guy. And he's like, and I immediately was like, 1, this is insane. What's going on? And I was like, 2, this is exactly what Death Stranding 1 was missing. A little fucking guy to chit chat with you.
You had your little BB.
But you don't get to chit chat with him. He doesn't wisecrack.
Does he still have a BB?
Oh, I don't remember. There was definitely BBs in the game, in the trailer. Okay. But I don't remember if he was carrying the BB. But and then the other thing was like it was just, there was so much like really funny exposition in the trailer. I've never seen a trailer with so much like soup to nuts. Not soup to nuts. Bread and butter. There's like bread and butter exposition where the new character is like, hey, Norman Reedus, that shit that you pulled in America, that was crazy. I need you to come over here. I want you to do that here, do that same stuff here. It's like, okay, great. So it's the same idea, new place. He's got to do it again, and he's got a puppet. I love it.
Oh man, do we get to win this time?
And Kojima also says that he wants to tear down the barrier between games and film. By the way, I don't know if you knew that about Kojima. He still wants to do that. That made Kyle sick.
I'm actually dead now. I've died and gone to outer heaven.
Anyway, I highly recommend watching the Death Stranding 2 trailer. I thought it was great. I'm really excited for it. I I'm excited for it. I didn't think being excited for Death Stranding 2, I didn't think I had it in me to be excited for it. But
sure.
hey, but you know what? I didn't speak his language back when Death Stranding 1 came out.
Right.
You know, at that point the only other Kojima game I had played was Metal Gear Solid 5. So
Right. What a fucking good game. Like,
yeah,
if this new stealth game is half as fun as Metal Gear Solid 5,
I know, right?
forget about it.
Anyway, that's all I've got. But I think that we're plenty good. Oh hey, you know what? There's something on Runbutton.shop.
What's that?
I've added the Illuminati Pyramid Head shirt.
Cool.
And
Illuminati head.
I've sort of
The head of Pyramid Head is the Illuminati pyramid. Does that make sense?
Yes, Illuminati Pyramid Head. Right. It's not Illuminati Pyramid Head. It's Illuminati Pyramid Head.
And it's Illuminati head.
Well, it's the Illuminati Pyramid Head.
E unibus plurum.
Right. Some other stuff on there. Are you there? Are you looking at it?
No.
Okay.
What else?
Well, you remember the Fruit of Grape tumbler.
I remember the Fruit of Grape tumbler.
It's new and improved.
What's improved about it?
I took the logo and I slapped a really long pink background on it and I re-uploaded it. And so now instead of being the Fruit of Grape logo on a plain white tumbler, it is now a pink tumbler with the Fruit of Grape logo on it. It looks a billion times better. It looks way better. I should have done this all along, but part of me was like, I don't want to fuck with the thing because I'm not a graphic designer or an artist, but I figured I can add a big rectangle background to something. I'm not an idiot.
Hang on. I was with you for the first half.
And then I was like, just for fun, I slapped that Fruit of Grape logo on the can-shaped glasses that you know those. I've got one of those.
I have one of those.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to buy Fruit of Grape branded one of those.
Look at that. How fucking good does that look?
Get the fuck out of here.
That looks so good, right?
That looks so good.
It looks like there's Fruit of Grape in there.
Wow,
that could be Fruit of Grape.
I was actually just looking at the glass by itself. But
yeah. Well, I just mean this is just a sample image that they give you, and it sort of looks like something that could be Fruit of Grape. Looks delicious.
Fruit of Grape, it's got to be purple, right?
I don't think it's gotta be
grape.
Purple.
It's grape.
It is grape. I think it's likely purple, but I don't think you can disqualify this sort of pink color, especially with all the ice in there.
I can't. Oh, actually, I have my can-shaped glass within reach. Oh shit, this one looks wider than the Fruit of Grape one. This one is for Mighty Squirrel Brewery. Got a squirrel on it.
Anyway, you can go to runbutton.shop. I highly recommend spending a lot of money there. Unfortunately, Fourth Wall. So the way Fourth Wall works, which is the thing that we use now instead of Spreadshirt, it's way better. They have much higher quality stuff. But because they source their things from multiple different like printers, like it's like a printing aggregator more than a printing operation itself. And sometimes things get made at different like places, and so I, as a test to like make sure they turn out good, I put it in order for the Fruit of Grape tumbler and the glass, and they're coming from two different places, so you have to pay shipping twice sometimes. It mega sucks. There's just nothing that I can do about it. And so if you go and buy, all the shirts should come from the same place, and I think that most stuff that ships from the US will ship to US, Canada, Mexico with one price. But don't be shocked and don't be mad at me if you try to buy a backpack and a cup, and they try to charge you an extra $7 shipping because I can't. If I could change it, I would, but I can't.
Yeah. Somebody, I think we've sold what? Was it 2 backpacks?
2 or 3 backpacks we've sold. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at least one person posted a picture of it.
I would
good.
love to see that picture if you know where it is, because I did not see it.
I think it got posted. It should just be on the Discord, probably in general.
Oh, great. In the general.
No, just in the Discord in general.
Oh, but not in general.
Just in general.
In general.
Somewhere in there, in general.
How about I search the word backpack?
That seems
Jump.
dangerous.
Oh, someone posted the words all over print backpack secured, but not a picture of the backpack.
Oh, no. I must have asked them for a picture. They must have posted a picture.
No,
I can't imagine I'd ask for one and they wouldn't post it.
You said party emoji twice. I actually wasn't sure anyone would buy one. Let us know how it comes out. And then they never said anything.
Jesus Christ. And we gave them a backpack.
We gave
them
that
money we did not produce.
Yeah.
The backpack, I mean.
Well, in a way, we produced the logo. We didn't design the logo. We produced the logo.
Sure.
This is the way that Steven Spielberg produced Shark Tale.
Right.
We produced
the way that Steven Spielberg produced Boom Blocks.
Right. The way that Steven Spielberg produced Boom Blocks.
All right, let's
get out of here. Image. Message contains image.
Can we leave now? Is that...
No, you're stuck here. This is hell.
What?
Haven't you got this?
It's midnight.
Haven't you figured out that this is hell? You're stuck here. Oh, backpack. Here it is. I found it.
A picture?
Yep, I found the picture of the backpack.
Oh.
It's actually a picture of the person who bought the backpack wearing the backpack, but the backpack is featured in use on a back. It does confirmed go on a back. Looks pretty good.
Where did you find this?
I searched has image in the Discord, and it's in Runbutton content.
Content, yeah.
You can put stuff in this thing. Is the
increasingly dubious chat category Runbutton content.
I mean, there's just not enough people in the Runbutton Discord to sustain.
Yeah.
Really, we should have 3 channels. Plus Courtney's channel. Courtney can keep her channel.
I don't see the backpack in Runbutton.
Here, I can do copy message link, and then I can send that to you. Here you go. So yeah, go to Runbutton.shop.
Oh, actually that was there and I just didn't see the backpack.
Oh, okay.
The person was too prominent.
Look
at that. It's totally a backpack with our logo on it.
Kyle's not on x.com anymore, but I'm still there. You can find me at Keith J. Carberry. You can find the co-host at Runbutton at Keith J. Carberry. I'm on there. I'm posting on there, you know, almost every day probably. The Sonic Superstars episodes are still coming out.
Jesus Christ, Keith.
Well, look, it's hard to get a hold when we record less, I put out less videos.
Right.
Because I don't know how long I'm gonna have to drip those out.
Oh, please. That can't be the real reason.
It really is the reason. It really is.
You don't read.
Hey, it's not like I haven't put any out. I put out 9 episodes. It's not like I've done none.
Listen.
What?
Obviously, the lack of Runbutton recordings is, the blame cannot be evenly distributed. However, you could reach out to me ever.
I do.
I guess you did just do that yesterday or
Yeah, and
few
like,
days ago.
2 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks before that.
All right. Well, I just want people to know that, it's not like my phone's ringing off the hook every other day with Keith being like, we gotta, let's do a podcast. Come
It's
on, we
so
gotta do
funny
it.
that you're saying this literally the 2 days after I called you to do this
That was an
very thing.
anomaly. That was an anomaly.
It's not an anomaly. It
It is
is true.
completely
I'll say
an
this.
anomaly.
For the last 8 days, I've been sick with fucking COVID. I think.
All right. Whoop.
I think it's been COVID.
Oh,
so
you
I
couldn't even take a fucking test.
No,
Were
I
you
took
busy?
4 tests. They all came out negative. But I think,
Okay, so it doesn't sound like you had COVID.
well, whatever I had, it was like COVID and lasted 8 days.
Yeah, it's called the flu.
No, I think it's COVID. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing that people don't get. Number one, the tests are still testing for the original COVID variant, so they're very inaccurate now. Nobody has thought to make better tests because they don't actually want. No, they haven't. They don't want people testing positive for COVID.
But then what's the purpose of the expiration dates?
Exactly.
If they're
What's
all
the purpose
testing
of
for the same thing?
Why
would they have that?
The question, I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Why do they keep extending the expiration dates and saying, "Hey, don't worry that it says it's expired. We made sure it's actually still good. Don't worry." Because the outcome is still the same: less effective tests.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people testing positive for COVID. They're doing everything they can for people to not test positive, including
All I'm hearing,
manufacturing an environment where people are not testing when they have it. You know what I mean?
You want COVID so badly?
I don't want it. I just think I had
hear it in your voice that like you don't have it, but you.
Well, the
you
other
don't
thing
want to
is
hear that, so you're like, no, I have to.
The other thing is, yes, the flu is going around. RSV is going around also, but there's fucking 10 times as many cases of COVID as there are of the flu because COVID is way more contagious than the flu is, and so it's like chances are 10 to 1.
It also probably gets reported a little bit more.
Well, not with the fucking broken tests.
I don't know.
And it's not like you can go get a PCR test anymore. The way that you used to be able to go get a PCR test, like at all the testing sites.
You have a lot of information on this topic.
Well, I've kept up on COVID because it hasn't gone away. It's the worst COVID's been since Omicron right now. It's the second biggest surge of all time of COVID. So that is why I believe that I had COVID and not the flu, because there's just way more cases of COVID. And I, and I've had COVID before. I know what it feels like.
Listen, my point is, I know I'm not very available.
Yeah.
And so if you were asking me to record every single day, I'd be having to say no a lot more often than yes.
Right.
However, you're not going to get a yes out of me unless you ask.
Can I be honest with you about this?
Okay.
It's not, and I'm not, I don't want this to be like an excuse or to put it on you, but I spent a lot of time asking more frequently, but you've been so unavailable. I just kind of assumed like, well, when they're available, they'll let me know so that I don't have to keep asking you every couple days.
I know, but I just fall into that place where it's like, it's like I could probably be convinced, but it's just so easy to just not say anything and just chill all day.
By the way, I know that it's been a few weeks, but I want to add to having reached out the other day that I cleared my schedule 9 days from January 12th to 20th, and I told you a full 3 weeks ahead of time, hey, January 12th to 20th, I have a bunch of free time. We should do a lot of Runbutton. We should try to do an Uru. You should talk to Jordan or something.
But then I fucked up all of my time though. And also you didn't call me.
Hold on. That's not true. I did reach out to you that week. At the very beginning of the week, I was like, hey, are we going to record this week? Yeah, I did. Yeah. So it's not,
I think what ended up happening was like, I blew I blew a head gasket. I blew a gasket in my head.
Oh,
Like the week before, and like didn't go to work for a week.
Yeah.
So then when it was the Run Button recording week, it's like, well, I can't not go to work for a week this week.
here's the other thing that happened. This is what I knew happened. I forgot about this. But on January 12th, that first day that I was talking about, I said, any word on next week? Because I think I had reached out one other time between these last two things to reach out, and you didn't get back to me. So you said, well, my roommate tested positive for COVID yesterday, so I don't know. You have time to do something remote today or tomorrow?
We were going to do in-person things, and then they got COVID. Yeah.
And then, so you said, you have time to do something remote today or tomorrow, and then I said, yes, I can do either.
Yes. And then
you said, found the Frame Meister, and then I never heard back from you. So I feel like it's not on me. I did it.
Hey, Keith, I didn't say it was distributed evenly.
Sure.
In fact, I said it wasn't.
You did say it wasn't. Yes.
Could
I have tried even harder? Yes.
Listen,
It's
I'm not talking about blame
no
or fault. I'm simply saying that if you keep asking me, you'll probably get a yes out of me eventually.
All right. Well, if you want more of my voice and there's not enough Run Button there for you, then you can listen to my new podcast, Media Club Plus. Did you know about this?
Fuck no.
I started a podcast. It's a Friends of the Table shingle where me and Sylvie and Dre and Jack are doing a Hunter x Hunter podcast. We've done 11 episodes, I think. So you can go listen to that. Go to mediaclub.plus. Sorry, no, we've done 11 episodes covering 37 episodes of Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
So you should listen to that. It's really good.
So that's why I haven't heard from you.
I mean,
you've been busy.
I've been recording one extra podcast every other week. Yes. On Thursdays too, which isn't even a day that you really are free.
Hey, you want to know something totally bizarre?
What's up?
Andy texted me a few days ago.
What?
And it was perfectly a pleasant and enjoyable exchange, but it was in some way the most Andy text of all time, which is like, I have not talked to him since like the Complex Rockets reunion podcast we did like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he texts me, what are your top 10 favorite games of all time? Just like, I'm like, dude, what? And of course, I'm like, I can't do that. I don't know. I don't have a list of favorites. And then, I, of course, just like, just went like, well, but, probably like Persona 3, Final Fantasy 7, Dark Souls, Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Red, Blue, Mass Effect 2, Tunic.
I give you top 5, I bet. 5-1. Judgment.
Wow.
Judgment. Outer Wilds.
Outer Wild.
KOTOR 2. No, Breath of the Wild.
2.
KOTOR 2, and then Disco Elysium. Boom.
Wow. So many recent games.
I know, right?
Keith,
Isn't that
what
awesome?
A charmed recent past you've had.
I've had a good 5 years, yeah.
Oh my god, charmed childhood, charmed adulthood.
Yeah,
what doesn't this guy have?
I've been on Easy Street. I think is how you describe my whole life. Easy Street. yeah, I don't know what is that? Judgment was like 2019. Outer Wilds was like 2019. Judgment was like 2018, I guess. Outer Wilds was like 2019. Disco Elysium was like 2019, and KOTOR 2 was 2004. And what else was in there? Is that all 5?
I think. You know what was on Andy's list? Skyrim.
That's very common.
I was just like, Skyrim?
Yeah, people.
3 question marks? Why? And he's like, and most Andy response of all time, he goes, oh, because it's one of the greatest RPGs ever made.
Sure.
And I just didn't even respond. Like, in what way? I did respond.
Find...
I was like, isn't that? Or he said like, he's like, it's one of the greatest RPGs ever made, and I played it for 200 hours, and I was like,
that's not even that much.
You did like the same 2 hours 100 times. And then I was like, that's not
isn't
fair.
even
that's
that much time to spend. I'll play a game that I only like kind of for 200 hours if it's got.
No, you shut up.
It's true. Like, not every game that I only kind of like will get 200 hours out of me, but I don't really even like Skyrim that much, and I played 100 hours of it. You know what I mean?
I got really into Skyrim when it first came out, and then like every time I tried to play it even a little bit since then, I bounced off of it.
I know that it's a lot of people's comfort game, and I understand what people like about it. In 2024, here from the future, it's hard to find one single thing to like about Skyrim.
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, it is really, really aged very poorly.
Even like coming out at like one of my favorite. This is like maybe not fair because it was Obsidian who did New Vegas.
Yeah,
and it was awesome.
Right.
And one of my favorite things was they added a survival mechanic where you had to eat and drink to keep yourself alive. And I felt like, oh, that totally justifies all the random food items that are constantly scattered everywhere in these games, and you had to not get overheated in the desert or whatever. So I was really looking forward to the idea of like, oh, it's Skyrim, it's in the north, it's really cold. Maybe there'll be like a temperature mechanic where you have to wear fur to not freeze to death. But no, you can just run through the snow butt naked.
Butt
naked.
The thing about Skyrim was always like, it's so big and it's this big open world, and like I remember people being like, if you can see it, you can go there. It's a lot of the same stuff people said about Breath of the Wild.
Hey man, Skyrim, you can't see it, you can still go there.
Yeah. But you play it now and it's like, it's really like a bunch of shitty little caves with a bunch of stupid little skeletons.
Yeah, it's
just
like
over
nothing.
and over and over. It's just full of nothing.
It's the same nothing.
It's the same
copied
nothing.
And pasted. Yeah.
And maybe in 10 years I'll feel that way about Breath of the Wild, but there's just something like fun and magical about Breath of the Wild.
I don't think that you will feel that way.
You don't want to know
why?
Because what if you replaced every single one of those stupid little caves with the stupid little skeletons with like a cute little puzzle? You know what I mean? Like the shrines are so much more interesting than
like infinitely more.
And then it's just like, the whole thing, you know, you just go become like the boss of every club at school. Like it sucks. It's stupid. I'd much rather play Lost Judgment where you actually become the boss of a bunch of little clubs at school.
Well, it's like, and it's like every Bethesda RPG is like so fucking janky and stupid and like poorly considered, and each time there's a new one it's like, oh, this time they nailed it. Like I know the last one was janky, but this time they've really tightened it. And like, no, like, you know, it's in that way where it's like after 3 years Skyrim felt like Oblivion again. Like when Skyrim came out, it was like, oh, they really improved on Oblivion and they sanded off so many of the rough edges, and now they feel like the same game to me.
It sucks because I still really like Morrowind, and I really like a lot of the stuff that's in Morrowind, and it felt like Morrowind was like full of like weirdos that like had cool stuff to tell you.
Hmm.
And the thing about Skyrim and Fallout 4 and to a lesser extent Oblivion is like no one has anything interesting to say in those games because they're so self-centered. They're like so revolving around the player character that like the fact that someone might have something interesting to say about the world would like get in the way of the like the self-centeredness of those games,
right?
Where it's really like it feels like a game that's trying to distill to me like not role-playing games the way that I like them and know them, but the idea of like the wacky guy at the table, like have like what I'm gonna try to dump acid on him, like, and it's like and be like, okay, we'll try to roll a thing, check. And Baldur's Gate is a game that does that like is able to keep things fresh by having a bunch of interesting characters that have interesting things to say. But Skyrim is like, what if everything looked like shit and the combat sucked and every other enemy was a stupid little skeleton.
You could ride a horse straight up a mountain.
You could ride a horse straight up a mountain. And also you got to fuck around and everyone was like scared of you.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the most appealing thing, and I know they have mods that are like this, but the appealing thing to something like an Elder Scrolls is to be sort of like an anonymous character in a huge world. But Skyrim is so about like you're
becoming
the Dragonborn,
so anonymous.
You're saving the world. Also, you're the Grey Fox, and also you're the head of the Dark Brotherhood, and also you're the
Thief
Wizard
Master and the Wizard King.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah, stupid game. Okay, that's got to be it.
That has to be it.
That has to be it. It's good. It's a good thing that we finally took Skyrim to task. That was.
Can
good
I tell you, if it's not it, I don't even care.
I'm too tired to keep going.
Yeah.
Go to the YouTube, watch some YouTube videos. Go leave a dumb comment. That has been working so well, by the way. The dumb comment thing.
Just ask people to comment.
Hey, it turns out that the reason why like YouTubers and stuff don't shut up about like liking and subscribing is because that's the only way that anyone ever does that.
Yeah.
Just for an example, a video that was posted a month ago that doesn't have us telling anybody to do anything has 32 likes and 8 comments, and a video with half as many views from 5 days ago has 26 comments and 53 likes.
That's funny.
So triple the comments and likes, half the views.
And if you're listening to this on YouTube, post a comment down below of what you want to see Runbutton do.
What kind of crazy shit do you want to see Runbutton do next? We'll do anything.
If you could choose anything for Runbutton to do, what would it be?
And if you think and make sure it's fucking sick.
Make sure
sickest
it's
comment
sick.
wins.